right, family. All right, family. Peace and love to the family. Welcome to Melanin Mondays. Let's get the show started. Before we begin, I'm gonna let y'all fill in the building. A few words from the sponsors before we begin. Let's pay the bills. A few words from the sponsors. All right, let's get it.
2020 was a very tough and trying year, not for just one country, but for the whole world. As we know, a very unexpected virus caught the globe by surprise and changed our way of life as we know it. During the COVID-19 pandemic, companies shut down and schools closed nationwide, limiting access to food, medication, healthcare, and education, causing a worldwide panic. Fast forward to today, with the help of vaccines and advanced medical care, we've come a long way in our battle of ending this pandemic. Unfortunately, the virus mutated, rendering vaccines less effective and kids more vulnerable to this unknown disease. Kids are going to school and catching COVID at alarming rates. Hospital beds are filling up with kids across the country, raising uncertainty for parents and governments everywhere. At Mayat K-12, we took swift action and converted fully into online operations and brought private school to the doorsteps of children nationwide, providing free tutoring and countless hours of help to children, keeping your babies safe in their homes. We pride ourselves as the best private school to care for your children during these very trying times, and we expect another amazing year for our students across the country. Bring your child back to Mayat University because we care, we pay attention, and we love. Mayat K-12. Let's have another amazing year. Click the link below and enroll now.
Yes, indeed. All right. We have Mayat K-12. Check out Mayat K-12. MyatK12.com. MyatK12.com. Vaccination waivers available now. All right. They are taking care of the little ones. This is an online situation. So parents, go and do your research. Okay. Go and do your research. All right. Shout out to MyatK12.com. Yeah, do what works for you. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it is. And we also have coming up this very Thursday, friends and family, we have a lecture/workshop. It is involving our good brother Slice from the biggest crypto play ever. We're going to be presenting to you, the audience, the starter kit. All right. We're going to be presenting the starter kit. This is dealing with income streams. This is dealing with how to be a digital nomad. All right. How to move through the quote unquote matrix, how to move around this quote unquote matrix, how to move around this, how to unplug from the matrix and be able to move around either with your family or by yourself and live. You could be in your mama's basement. You could be on the road. You could be on a continent. You could be in Latin America, South America, Central America, wherever. You could start your Africa tour. Whatever you want to do, there's tools that you're going to need in order to survive, in order to have a residual income, in order to wake up to money. Tap in this Thursday on Zoom only. Zoom only. The link is in the description. All right. Shout out to everybody that has purchased tickets. I will see you on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Stream Chasers present the starter kit. All right. Stream Chasers present the starter kit. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and do the roll call. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. Okay. We're going to do the roll call. And make sure y'all sign up to the Patreon. Shout out to all of my Patreons. All right. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Peace to the Patreons. Peace to the family in the Discord, tapping in and whatnot. Yeah. So let's do this thing. Okay, Vegas in the building. Shout out to Vegas. 718 in the building. Shout out to the 718. I'm assuming that's Brooklyn. Minnesota in the building. All right. Shout out to Minnesota. Lexington, Kentucky, Best-Stuy. I see you. Yes, little goddess is in the building. She is a moderator. She'll be handling tings and tings tonight. Winston Salem, I see you. Oh, CT in the building. All right, was goody. All right, did I say Best Eye already? Shout out to Best Eye one more again. Sanford, Florida, St. Louis, Buffalo Soldier, Dreadlock Rasta, Clayton, Florida, Cleveland, DMV, Western New York, next to Rough Buff. Okay, 716, Barbados, Cincinnati, all right, Cleveland, Ohio. I see you. Northwest Georgia, Fort Wayne, all right, Virgin Islands, St. Croix, Christianstead or Frederickstead, what part? Long Island, the Yay area, that Yay. All right, Choctaw, all right, Crenshaw up in this thing, Cashville is up in this thing, Dallas up in this thing. Venezuela, a little more Virgin Islands, one more again. Venezuela, Memphis Metaverse. Okay, Los Angeles, Delaware, West Side, South Side, Chicago, Fort Lauderdale. The 4 train on the Bronx. Yes. Do you hear clearly through the microphone? Is the audio clear? Let me know. Is the audio clear?
To this day.
Sound effects sound
To this day.
good? Now we gotta do an audio check. Sound effects is good. I hear a little bit of feedback too. Okay, you in Christianstead. All right now. Salute. Indianapolis. Indianapolis. All right. Indiana. Indianapolis. Memphis is up in here. Okay. Fort Smith is up in here. All right. Portland is here. Oh, we deep up in here. Miami is here. Okay. Brooklyn, Flatbush Massive. Damn, I feel at home. All of the gangsters is with us tonight. New Zealand is here. VA is here. All right, all right. Boston, all right. Boston. Harlem. Lil Harlem. Is that Little Harlem, SC? Let me find out. Gulfport, Mississippi. Okay. All right, all right. Yeah, the mic is very sensitive. It's picking up on my aura. How about that? You know what I'm talking about? Dallas, Texas. The BX. Hold on. Gotta give a shout out to the BX. Houston up in the Stein. Okay. So, in all, make a long story short, nigga, we here. All right. We up in here. We here. The world is here. The family is here. Shout out to every single person in the building. Salute to every single one of y'all. Welcome back. This is episode 175. Melanin Monday. Nigga, we made it. You know what I'm talking about? Mama, we made it. Mama, we made it. I was watching my first episode of Melanin Monday, either episode 1 or 2. It was called Everyday Struggle. Shout out to Destiny. She sent me the video. And I was watching the video and I was like, damn, nigga, you was going in. And it was 2017. We started this 2017. We kind of abandoned the platform for a few years while we were working with other platforms, House of Consciousness, Black News 102, Sonetta Studios, Baba TV, Fire Every Time, Black Magic 363, Kia Life Productions. Like, I was all over the place. You feel me? I was all over the place. And I might even be forgetting a few other platforms that I was working with. But we decided to pay more attention to our platform and just do a little something and shit. You feel me? And here you have it. We decided to come up with Melanin Monday. It was very organic. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like I sat around and planned this shit. I was in the crib and I was just like, I want to go live. I got some shit to talk about. And it was on a Monday. And it just felt good. You know what I mean? And I did it again. And Melanin Monday was born. It was birthed out of that. The people was like, yo, you need to keep doing this. So I was like, fuck it, we're gonna keep doing it. And yeah, you remember that when we was thinking of a name? We was thinking of a name. I think was it Third Eye Thursday that we had to get a name for? Because I kind of figured out. I think Melanin Monday was a staple, but maybe jog my memory. Shit. I smoke GMO weed, so shit be fucked up sometimes. But that was a long time ago. It was more than 175 Mondays ago because we took a few Mondays off here and there. But make a long story short, it's been a wonderful journey. You never told us if the rice worked for the laptop. Absolutely not. I got a new laptop. I kind of came up. I won. I caught a W in the whole situation because I got an upgraded Macintosh. Right, I upgraded it, and I went to the Mac store. They try to straight hit me over the head. They try to, you know what I'm talking about? They try to walk my dogs. And I was like, how much? Hey, yeah, I'll holler. You know what I'm talking about? I'll holler. You know what I'm talking about? And I went to the hood. I went to my dude Emerson in Harlem. You know what I mean? I went to Emerson in Harlem and shit. And he's a brother who had fixed a Mac for me before. So when shit when shit goes bad, we go to the hood first. We don't, we not corporate like that. We gonna go to either the Africans or to the just it was a hood hookup. And he showed me some shit that Apple would never show me. Do you know? Right? Look. This is a Mac Air right here, right? This computer, this is a MacBook Air, right? You see it says MacBook Air, right? Do you know, right? And I never knew this, right? Because I'm a geek in some ways, but I'm not a geek like that. To whereas I be taking apart computers and shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? But he showed me that this computer, along with other computers, are nothing but a piece of hardware that could fit in my hand, right? He showed me that the motherboard, because when I think about the motherboard, I'm thinking some old humongous type of operation. The motherboard is the size. This is my hard drive, right? This is a hard drive. This is a external hard drive. The motherboard is like not even half. It's like if I cut this in half and then I cut it again, it was like a rectangle. I'm trying to look at. I'm looking. All right, this is an external charger. The motherboard is 4 times smaller than this. That was my whole computer. How do I know? Because he took the motherboard out of the old Mac and he placed it into this Mac, and every single thing that was on my computer transferred over to this computer. Nothing was lost. It's not new technology. It's just that we don't be realizing. So this whole computer with the hardware, it is functioning to work to basically the keys on the keyboard, the screen that we're looking at, this high resolution screen and things of that nature. All of these things serve as components, right? To basically project the sound, project the vision, but the real computer, the brains of it, the real computer can fit in the side of my hand. If there's any blurs, there you go. Cola Culture talks about it. Please walk with me, Cola. And so they don't think that I'm out here tripping and whatnot. Can you please let the people know that the real brains of a computer could fit in the size of my hand? Not even like in the middle, maybe in my son's hand. My son is 1. The shit could fit in his hand. I was blown away. I was like, are you fucking serious? The whole time, this is what the whole computer was? And Emerson was like, yes. He was like, I'm going to take this motherboard. He said, your motherboard did not get damaged. The motherboard is getting smaller. Yes. Every year. Yes. Raspberry Pi. Thank you, little goddess. So in Raspberry Pi, that is a super duper 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 small computer. And that's how you have what is known wearable technology. They was able to get wearable technology and shit like that because the computer has shrunk so small with the Raspberry Pi. So, people got hats and whatnot that are like LCDs on it, and because the server is mad tiny. Anyway, so I came up out of a tragedy. You feel me? And like I was saying that the motherboard is like a graphene type of carbon. Think about like a graphene type of carbon. It almost looks like this, like matte black. It's almost like a matte black, but the aspect of it being carbon, it's not easily damaged by water. Okay, it's not easily damaged by water. So even though water has spilt in it, it was like the dude was like, nah, that shit didn't really burn out the hard drive and we could salvage it. He salvaged it, and then boom, he put it in a computer. It was almost like a brand new computer. Um, and I'm good now. To the next tragedy. You know what I'm talking about? I'm good for now. You know, I'm good for now. So what could have been a tragedy turned around to be something that was good because I upgraded. I got a newer computer than I had before. You know what I'm talking about? And he didn't even hit me in the pocket like that. You know what I'm talking about? He didn't even hit me in the pocket like that. So I was very appreciative of that. I brought like 3 computers to him. You know, I had to get a 3 for, you know what I'm talking about? I was like, let me just run this shit because I got a whole bunch of computers that need fixing. And everything worked out. That was either that was the retrograde or that was because I was fucking with your boy. What's his name? I don't even call him Manson no more. I just call him Mookie. You know, I think that was the bad energy of your boy Mookie. And it just, you know, it kind of messed things up. You know what I'm saying? I could have took that as a warning. My phone broke, my laptop broke, a whole bunch of shit started breaking. But anyway, we're good now. We're here. Okay, we're here. You said what's his info because you need a Mac to fix. All right, hit me on the email. You know what I'm talking about? Hit me on the email. Let me put the email right up here. You could send me an email and I will send you Emerson. I'm sure he will love your business. I also have a dude who fixes PCs. So if you need your PC hooked up, or if you need a new PC, or if you need a supercharged PC, all of my hackers out there, all of my gamers and whatnot, all of my people that might be Bitcoin mining. I got Bitcoin mining computers. If you need a computer that's juiced up for mining, hit me up, my G. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna put some tax on top of it. Now I'm just playing. I'm not even gonna put no tax on it. I'll just send you right to the plug. I don't care. You know what I mean? I just need y'all to get your electronics together so you could be productive. Hit me up. I'll plug you in with the plug. Just take care of my peoples and they will take care of you. Yes, Ethereum is definitely up. You know what I'm talking about? Ether is up. That biddy was up for a minute too and it's about to go back up. So, you know, I don't deserve a cut. I don't need a cut. You know what I mean? I don't need a cut. I'm just a bridge. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just a bridge. Put that in my spiritual bank account. You know what I mean? You know, you need a oh yeah, you can hit my peoples up. These are blurs. These are blurs. You know what I'm talking about? These are blurs. This is what they do. This what they live for. Like they got all of that. You know, they got all of that for the peoples. You feel me? They got all of that for the people. So just hit them up. Hit me on my email. I'll send you their information. Tell them that Red Pill sent you, and they'll be ready for you. They have a lot of respect for the boy. Oh, they at Sheba. When are you gonna sell? When are you gonna sell? When are you gonna sell your Sheba? At what point do you sell it? You know what I mean? Or do you hold this shit to a few more years? You let me know. Never trade in your cell phones. That's a fact. Your cell phones, don't trade them in. Don't trade in your Macs. They will take that information. You think you erased the information, they could salvage that shit. Don't send in, don't give up your computers that got the hard drives. Don't, salvage that shit. You know what I mean? Because these people is out here, they'll steal your data and do a few things. They saying a hold. They saying hold for a while. Hold that Sheba, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Hold that Sheba. You holding it for a few years? Oh man, stop for lie. I'm rinsing my shit. Fuck that. No, I'm just playing. I'm gonna hold it. I mean, to be honest with you, I almost forgot about it. I'll go into the app sometimes and look at it. Like all of my crypto, I literally forgot about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just sitting in wallets. I got like 5 different wallets. You know, I had a scare because I had to switch up my iPhone. And then when I got the new iPhone, none of the whatchamacallit, none of the quote unquote seed phrases, none of my crypto wallets worked because they was like, what's your seed phrase? I'm like, damn, I don't even know, bro. I gotta figure it out because I had that shit packed up and whatnot in boxes. So, I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna try to figure this shit out. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm gonna just let my crypto sit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just let it mature. You know what I'm talking about? Until I have some parabolic wallets. You feels me? You know what I mean? When you upgraded your phone and think, yeah, man, I was heated. You know, I got the new iPhone. My shit was looking all glossy and whatnot. I was like, yes, I'm lit. You know what I'm talking about? Camera was crispy. And they did the same thing that they did with this computer. They transferred everything over to a brand new phone. I'm talking about everything, my notes. All I had to do was put in my Apple ID and all that shit transferred. But then later on, I'm like, let me go to Coinbase. I got into my Coinbase, but all them other little wallets like Clever, fucking, all of those side wallets, Exodus, I can't get in. I couldn't get in none of them shits. I just gotta find I gotta have a book somewhere with all of that shit in it. You know. Somebody said either you're gonna win or you're not in crypto. Not all of them are pump and dump. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fackington. You know what I'm saying? This nigga said whole sheep until the fourth quarter of 2023. Ancient homage, what up? Yo, I be wearing this hoodie so much. I be wearing this is like my Batman outfit. When I put this hoodie set on, the nigga feel like a superhero. I'm dead ass. Check this out though. This that good Malcolm X right here. You know what I mean? This is that good drip. I forgot the brother who made this for me. He's out the Bronx. I'm really, really sorry. If you're in the chat, please drop your information because people have been asking about this. This is from an avid listener and whatnot. He came and blessed me on 125 with his daughter. I remember that day. This was a while ago. And ever since then, I've been wearing this shit and people be on my back. Yeah, this is not one of my creations. What I do more so nowadays than I promote other lines a lot. I'm into shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I want to see other people winning, you know what I mean? I wear my shit, but I'm not above wearing other people's stuff, especially if it's fire. You know what I'm talking about? Like I fucks with that. I push that. I'm about promoting. I'm a billboard when it comes to, some conscious drip. You know what I'm talking about? I'm a billboard when it comes to that conscious drip. Yeah, I wrote down my seed phrases. Of course, I wrote it down. But you got to remember, I got like 6 notebooks with, I put all of my passwords in my books. You know what I mean? I got seed phrases. I got you know what I mean? So it's a lot. You don't understand. It's a lot. You know what I mean? It ain't like I just got one book. It's a lot. You know what I mean? So, I just got to dig in and find it. But I'm comfortable knowing that I didn't lose the passwords. They not in front of me. But I don't really need them at the end of the day because I'm letting my shit mature. You know what I mean? My big crypto is in my cold wallet. It's off the, you know what I mean? It's not even in these internet things. It's safe and secure. I'm talking about like my shit coins and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? My shit coins, you know, they I look at like seeds that are growing. I look at it like they're seeds that are growing. We got to let it grow. You can't go to a farm and the minute you see a little fucking bud coming out of the soil, you gotta let that shit grow. So we're gonna let it grow. We're patient over here. You know what I mean? We're in it for the long run. You know what I'm talking about? We're in it for the long run. It's like stacking bread. You ever had a stash and then you kind of like, you knew that the stash was somewhere in the house, but you kind of forgot where it was. Like, damn, what wall did I put the stash in? Was it the kitchen? Was it the bathroom? I don't know. But guess what? I ain't even gonna stress it because I'm gonna start up a new shoebox. This is how you get stacks on stacks on stacks. You almost got to stash some shit and forget about it. It's like planting some seeds and whatnot, and then you forget about it. And then one day you go into the backyard, and my nigga, you got watermelons. You like, oh shit, I didn't even anticipate this. So that's how we moving like that. Shout out to Chicago Crypto in the World. I seen that live today. That was a pay-per-view, my genius. I seen that live today. You know what I'm talking about? That was a pay-per-view. You know, that was a lot of free game right there, but y'all was lit. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all was definitely lit. I like that combination right there. It was definitely up. You know what I mean? So shout out to Chicago Crypto. You know, he's been doing the motherfucking thing in this space. You know what I'm talking about? He's that guy when it comes to all things crypto. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure, I don't know if he still has his deal going, but he had a beautiful deal, a super duper deal, almost a motherfucking steal this weekend for his courses and for his workshops and for the things that he's been doing to put people in a position that they probably never been in, right? So I need y'all to take full advantage of that. So make sure if you're not following my good brother Chicago Crypto Hustler, y'all tap in. And to this day, oh wait up, to the end of the month.
This day.
To the end of the month.
To this day.
To the end of the month. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Red October. So before the month is over, go on Instagram. It's the same spelling that you see right here. You'll be able to find the guard. You know what I mean? Hit him up. Tell him that Red Pill sent you. You know what I'm talking about? Tell him that Red Pill sent you. And you know, go ahead and shop with your brother. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead and shop with your brother, because it's one thing. I mean, I promise you, in these days and times, an influx of information about what's going on in the present and in the future, you'll never get enough of that. You know what I'm talking about? The reason why people say that they're inundated with information is because you're mixing that shit up with Fluffington, with a lot of junk, my nigga. You know what I mean? You're worrying about what kind of drugs Wendy Williams is on. You're into the gossip, you're into the tea, you're into the rumors, you're into all of that, and then you're mixing it up with information that's really like life-saving and whatnot. What you should do is trim your motherfucking meals and whatnot. You know what I mean? I try to eat once a day these days. You know what I mean? Intermittent fasting. You want to fast when it comes to the information, and you want to try to be super laser focused, because what you pay attention to expands. So you should be paying attention to the information that you see is helping other people, right? I was watching Kevin Gates on $1 Million a Game last night. Very, very interesting interview, right? Except when he started talking about eating ass, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And he was saying that he had to take a social media diet or a social media break because comparison is the killer of motherfucking joy. I'm gonna say that again. Amen. Don't let me get on my Vicky Dillard shit. Stop preaching to you niggas. Talk back to me. Show enough. But comparisons is the killer of joy. What do you mean? He said on Instagram, and I've spoken about this, right? I've talked about this, the fact that I had to take a break, and I went through some depressions during the depression time, because the winter, I always go through depression. That's just hibernation, depression, anxiety season. You know what I mean? Like I have to get myself ready for that, because that's the shit that happens. I'm a Scorpio. We go into a Minta, which is the underworld. You know what I mean? We go into the motherfucking underworld. We go into the underbelly of shit during the winter months and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? But he said that you only see niggas put up highlight reels on the gram. You only see Shorty when after she got her body done. She's not gonna show you what she looked like before her BDL. Wait, Brazilian BBL, the BBL. You know what I'm talking about? I was doing some research on the BDL. I'll talk about that later too. But you know, you know, people are not that transparent to tell you about the L's that they took. People are not that transparent to tell you about, you know, the quote unquote the bad days that they had. You feel me? A few people do that, but we tend to gloss over that shit because we looking for the highlight reels. We on the explore page, we want to see how icy Little Dirk is and whatnot. But you don't see Little Dirk when he's crying, when he misses his brother and whatnot, and his whole motherfucking gang. You don't get to see that part. You only get to see Durkio counting that motherfucking money and whatnot with the money phone. You only get to see him on tour, but you don't get to see him when he's consoling his whiz and whatnot, and they probably scared and they crying and whatnot, and he got to tell her, get over that, and he got to go pray to Allah. You don't get to see that part. Motherfuckers be showing you, oh, I got mad orders and whatnot, and they go into the post office with a wheelbarrow and whatnot, but you don't get to see them on the days when they had no orders and they had bills and whatnot on their backs. You feel me? So when you only see these highlights of a manufactured you know, reality that people choose to show you 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. It's a curated experience. And then you comparing yourself to these motherfuckers, and you comparing yourself to your enemies. How about that?
To this day.
They got you comparing yourself to your ops. They got you comparing yourself to your ops, niggas that you don't really like that. They got you comparing yourself to people who are not even on your level. You know what I'm talking about? So he was like, I had to take a hiatus. He was like, I had to take a hiatus, and I truly understand that. And I'm like, I fucks with Kevin Gates because he don't have to be that transparent. He's very transparent. And one thing about transparency, there's, you know, once you're transparent, what the fuck can you use against somebody who lets it all out? He shared that he was sexually abused as a child. And as a result of that, he was like, I was very aggressive and whatnot in my raps and things of that nature. And, you know, I was on my tough guy shit, but I was really scared. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I respect people like that. He said that on Mike Tyson's broadcast. You feel me? So it's very important, right? And on the heels of the interview that I saw with Kevin Gates, where he was talking about the social media and things like that, I woke up today and I read what is known as the Facebook papers. Did anybody read the Facebook papers yet? Facebook papers is 17 media companies, the New York Post, no, the Washington Post, the New York Times, and a few other periodicals and whatnot. They've taken a treasure trove of information that the Facebook whistleblower, we talked about her before as well. They took her information that she put out, and they basically went through all of the information. They you know, they was rummaging through all of these quote unquote emails and stuff like that, and it came to basically, you know, the conclusion that Facebook is a piece of shit. Okay. Yeah, the lady, she's on a world tour. They got her, you know, doing mad interviews. I don't, you know, I, like I said, you know, I don't really trust her. There's something about her that I'm not really all the way in feeling, right? But it is what it is. You know, she's telling you shit that you should already had known. You feel me? But it's going a little bit more in detail. It's good that it's being quote unquote cataloged and shit like that. It's not the first time, right? It's not the first time. You dig what I'm saying? Like, let's keep that very clear in our minds. This Facebook shit has been going on for dumb long, right? One of the things that you should fear is normalization of the fuckery. You know what I'm talking about? Because they'll expose themselves, but they'll normalize the fuck shit. And once you kind of get used to it, it's back to business as usual, right? That's some of the things that they do. You feel me? So here it goes. Here goes the Facebook lady, in case none of y'all probably heard of her. You know, she's in the UK. I guess she's in Parliament talking her shit. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to come out of that because, you know, at this point, Facebook is too big to even be regulated like that. It's too big to ever be regulated. We brought up the term surveillance, uh, surveillance, capitalism. That bitch ain't say that shit one time. That's why I don't trust her. You know what I'm talking about? She didn't even mention that's to if she says something like that, then I'm like, okay, she's on game and whatnot. She didn't really say anything about the surveillance capitalism. I shared with y'all. I didn't share the video of the lady and whatnot, but there's a book, and I highly encourage that y'all look it up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Her name is Shoshana. She's the truth now. Shoshana Zobuff. She's the truth when it comes to the real reveal and whatnot. She goes into super detail. You know what I'm talking about? She's trustworthy to a degree. Like I said, I don't trust them people as far as I could throw them. You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of them can be thrown that far. So I don't really trust. I take the information with a grain of salt, but my spirit, when I'm doing my research, I'm still utilizing intuition. She's a distraction from what? Let me know. What's she a distraction from? So, you know, my spirit, when I utilize my intuition, would be like, yo, this person is fugazi, this person is upstanding, and this person is not. My intuition has been wrong on a few occasions, but it's been right more than it's been wrong. You know what I mean? I'm still batting, my batting percentage is pretty up there. You know what I'm talking about? I'm doing triple doubles. So here she goes. She's on a world tour. She's running around telling them shit that they already knew. Because remember, Cambridge Analytica, right? That blew the fucking roof off. There was another whistleblower. The nigga had like red hair. He was mad moist and whatnot, a white boy. He did it. You know what I'm talking about? And there was another one. There was an Indian dude. He did it. He kind of came out. So it's been mad people coming out. She is the exception. She came with the receipts. Her receipts allegedly is a little more thorough than the receipts that other people has based off of her position and whatnot. She was a little more deeply entrenched into the operations and shit like that. Okay. So Facebook profits top 9 billion despite facing recent whistleblower revelations. You know what I mean? Facebook's goal is to make money. You know what I'm saying? Whoop-de-doo. Tell me something that I fucking didn't know. You know what I mean? Like they're not really saying too much that we don't know.
Its goal is to its profit over the.
But what they are saying is that the algorithm, right? The way that shit is set up with the algorithm and whatnot, it's purposelessly putting people in these quote unquote echo chambers. Facebook knows 10-year-olds are on Instagram and they know it's not safe. Why aren't they protecting young children, including those who are being bullied and those who are obsessed with their body image? Right? Okay, what the fuck is Facebook gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, is there an app to stop 10-year-olds from getting on the goddamn platform? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? You can't blame Instagram or Facebook for young girls comparing themselves to the fucking Kardashians. Like, it's not Facebook's job. And then you got TikTok. So, I mean, it's just then you got Snapchat. You know what I mean? Then you got Bigo. It's a whole bunch of shit. So I'm not really falling for that. Yeah, here it goes. The age of surveillance capitalism, the fight for a human future, going by the book. Please, going by the book. Sharpen your motherfucking sword. She's giving it up. Okay. Shoshana Zobuff. I believe she's from Tel Aviv. You know what I'm talking about? What about the food shortage going on? What about it? What about it? Are you getting your food up? You know what I'm talking about? Are you getting your food up? There's been food shortages for a whole bunch of the years. Like, you got to get your food up. Do you know any black farmers? Do you know any black farmers? This is $1 trillion company that we're talking about with Facebook. $1 trillion, not $1 billion, $1 trillion company. Okay. $1 trillion company. So I don't really know where this is going or what it's supposed to actually be doing. You know what I'm saying? she did reveal some shit about Facebook in other countries and whatnot, like Africa and other, right? So somebody is saying Facebook whistleblower Frances Hugan made a bunch of money on cryptocurrencies and now lives in Puerto Rico with her crypto friends, where residents enjoy a very generous exemption from capital gain taxes, right? You know the thing about Puerto Rico and crypto. That's a good place to go to, sit on your crypto and enjoy your motherfucking your windfall and whatnot and not get taxed up. Okay. I don't know if you knew that. This could be Hegelian dialect, right? Facebook group pushes people to extreme interests. Facebook groups are dangerous and use algorithms to take people who have mainstream interests and push them to extreme interests. A whistleblower told MPs, so yeah, it is what it is. Who said what they who has said that it's a distraction? You know what I mean? I would say that instead of saying it's a distraction, I would say this Hegelian dialect. I would say that this Hegelian dialect, they're going to utilize her as the problem, and then they're going to roll out the solution. Keep in mind, Facebook is in the middle of rebranding themselves as a metaverse company, right? They're actually in the midst of completely overhauling their social media platform and then giving a lot of money and a lot of interest and a lot of time, manpower, brain power to the metaverse, right? So once they roll out the metaverse, okay, and if the metaverse is attached to the other social media platforms like Instagram, like WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger and whatnot, we're talking about billions of people, right? Because they have billions of people as their user base. So we're speaking about them being able to quote unquote onboard or introduce billions of people, right, to the metaverse, right? And the metaverse is going to be a whole nother animal, okay? A whole nother animal, right? Like the lady Shoshana had explained when it came to Pokemon Go, right? Let's see if you could pull this up, little goddess. The Pokemon Go scandal with Google Pokemon surveillance. Pokemon Go, which was an AR game, right? Pokemon Go, which was an AR game, right, was really an experiment with Google. Google was basically behind Pokemon Go the whole time. They rolled it out like this shit was a company that you never heard of and it came out of nowhere. No, that was a motherfucking operation. Okay, that was an operation. All right, look, did you play Pokemon Go? You might have been tricked. Big tech companies and popular games like Pokemon Go have been collecting consumers' data and using it to influence them to buy their products, right? Turns out consumers might actually be the driving forces behind large tech companies' successes. The scary part, consumers don't even realize they're doing it. This phenomenon, when consumers provide data to companies, is known as surveillance capitalism, Yahoo News says. Consumers fall into it every time they enter a new Google search or like something on Facebook or buy something from Amazon. These behaviors are then packed up and sold to companies. Those companies then utilize the data to modify consumers' behaviors and influence them to buy their products. Right. Pulling from an interview with Harvard Business School professor Shoshana Zuboff, Yahoo News shows a recent and powerful example of surveillance capitalism, the game Pokemon Go. The game was developed by Google, staffed by Google executives, run by Google executives, invented by Google people, spun out of Google, with Google remaining a major investor. While people played the augmented reality game, walking from place to place to catch Pokemon and battle other gamers, they were also being led to restaurants, retailers, and other businesses. Just as online advertisers pay the companies for click-through, real-world establishments were paying Pokemon Go creators for real feet in their restaurants, in their bars, in their coffee shops, and so forth, including McDonald's and Starbucks.
To this day.
It's called...
To this day.
So you have in the world of online advertising, you know, click for pay, right? Click per pay and whatnot. So that was a huge business that helped make billions of dollars for all of these social media giants. So this new shit in the world of augmented reality is not click and pay, it's the foot drop, right? The new shit is called a foot drop. Can I help? Could I drop my foot in the store? Could the advertisers help them, right, drop my feet in their store? So Starbucks is like, yo, how many people can you bring into my store? And Google is like, we can guarantee you with this game that we helped develop in private and secret, because when you niggas was playing Pokemon Go, you did not know that it was a Google game. You thought it came out of somewhere else. They had a whole nother shadow company that was pushing it, and Google's name was nowhere around, but they were the ones that were behind it the whole time. Okay, so this is the future of where they're going to be going with the quote unquote augmented reality, AR, spatial reality, augmented reality, virtual reality. Okay, they're going to be completely utilizing people's information against them. They're going to be utilizing their quote unquote their time, their attention. We're in the attention economy. So y'all, you know what I mean? Yeah, Pokemon Go was definitely the first Squid Game. We're going to be talking about the Squid Game on Brother Rich's channel, Black Magic 363. I think me and Blue Pill on Wednesday. All right, so look out for that. They're using augmented reality so you can't tap into different levels of consciousness. Is that right? Is that right? You know, the way that I see it, if done right, right? Because like I said, I'm not a complete critic. I'm a criticize it. I'll do the research. But I'm still a proponent of virtual. I'm still a proponent of augmented, and I'm still a proponent of spatial reality. You know what I'm saying? If done right. If done right, you got to put your shit. You know what I mean? You have to be the one, we have to become the coders. We have to be the developers. We have to be the programmers. I'm not going to spend my whole existence sitting behind this motherfucking camera in front of this mic telling you what white people are doing to us. That's corny to me. You know what I mean? I get nothing from that. That shit is whack. I like to inform people, but at the end of the day, when are we going to start talking about the motherfucking schemes that we doing? When are we going to start talking about the way that we line somebody up? You feel me? When are we going to start talking about how we putting some shit out and, you know, and you know, and shit like that? When? Because I'm with the smokes. You know what I mean? Like, I fight fire with fire on some occasions. Like, you know, I'm not sitting around telling you what, you know what I mean? Because the more attention that you give something, the bigger it becomes. So we've been sitting around, you know what I mean? We've been sitting around breaking shit down all of these years and exposing the Illuminati just to turn around with these niggas is trying to become the Illuminati. We spend a lot of time trying to expose secret societies and all of the strange things that they do, tying niggas up, sex parties, orgies, only to turn around. And this is where the thoughts is, and these weird niggas are at right now. They touching their toes. They're in those sex parties. They're letting white people walk them on leashes and whatnot. And these niggas will do something strange for a piece of change to be in the Illuminati. They found that shit exciting. Little Nas X niggas. Little Nas X ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? So the more that we try to expose it, it became like, it was something that these niggas was like, I want to try that. I'm already getting my back blown out. Why not be, you know, why not be in the room with the small hats while it's happening? You know what I'm talking about? Like, it kind of enticed these niggas. You know what I'm saying? And then these shorties and whatnot, they sugar daddies are the same people we was exposing. They're sugar daddies, right? White zaddy. Everybody's on the islands these days. Everybody's in Greece. You know what I mean? Everybody's in Turkey. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody's in Dubai. Who the fuck is taking those pictures? Huh, ma? Who's taking those pictures? It ain't. I highly doubt that it's a nigga taking that picture. I highly doubt that you brought Ray to fucking Dubai with you. You know what I'm talking about? Like, who's taking the pictures? You know what I mean? They're in Tel Aviv. You know what I'm saying? They're in fucking Turkestan. Like, what's going on? What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like, all of the shit that we've been teaching is not doing nothing. It's not doing nothing. Nobody is getting, you know what I mean? Nobody is drilling the ops. Nobody is running down on the 13th bloodline. You know what I mean? Nobody is putting in no twerk. So I'm kind of like disenchanted when it comes to shit like that. I'm you know, I'm Pinky in the brain. I'm on Pinky in the brain time. I'm on demon time. Like, fuck that. When are we gonna, you know what I'm saying? When are we gonna turn some tables over? Because this shit get boring. You know, men are going to Dubai too. Like I said, you know, I heard they got a thing for little boys in Dubai. You know what I mean? You know, shit. You know what I'm talking about? You know, it's whoever flew you out. You know what I mean? Whoever sent that flight ticket, niggas is going. You know what I'm talking about? Shorties is going with their hairdresser. He's getting hooked up, and so is she. You know what I mean? It's a 2-for-1 these days. You know what I mean? It's a 2-for-1. So, you know, we got to take better approaches to even revealing shit. We got to take a better approach to even exposing things, because I promise you 10 years ago, some of the things that we were exposing and talking about, I would lose the house, because I would have bet the house that I would not think that I would see the shit that I'm seeing these days, where people have decided to lay down with the same people who we were trying to expose. You know what I'm talking about? When this whole the woke culture rose up and whatnot, where all of these bussified activists and whatnot and toe touchers and whatnot, they oh man, oh man, oh man, I would have never thought, man, oh man, you know what I'm saying? The shit that they out here doing, you know, it's crazy. Sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying, because, you know, it's that almighty dollar, man. You know, and you would think that motherfuckers kind of like shook that whole, you know, being dollar whores and whatnot, but it looked like it's turned up. It looked like it's turned up. It looked like more people have become slaves to the quote unquote fiat than they were before. They're doing more stranger things for a piece of change. And now it's not even the dollar, it's the attention. We're in the attention economy. We're in the attention economy. They know how to monetize attention now, right? The streaming platforms, they get money based off of the time that you watch their quote unquote shows, not your subscriptions. That's really not what's driving the motherfucking thing. It's your attention. They've monetized your attention. YouTube is cutting niggas peanuts. The checks that they be like 000. It might as well be a motherfucking Shiba new coin. You know what I mean? They might as well be giving you niggas XRP, because YouTube is paying niggas 0.0000001 cent. That was the first time I saw that shit prior to crypto. I didn't understand it. I'm like, is this a penny or is it not? They're giving niggas 0.0000001 cent. Or one. You know, it's not even a fucking penny. It's a long way to a penny, my nigga. And the peanuts that they giving you niggas is based off of what they call the attention economy, where the liar Cohen said it on the Breakfast Club. He said, we don't need your money anymore. We're targeting low brow society. We're targeting these niggas and these quote unquote Latina X ass niggas because they have time and they have eyeballs. We don't need their money. Their eyeballs is the money now. So henceforth, the minute the liar Cohen became the head honcho at the same platform that we're on right now, the drill rappers, first before the drill rappers, it was the trap rappers, Migos and them. They started doing 300 million, 400 million. They wasn't popping like that before he became president. They might have did 30 million. Then these niggas went parabolic as soon as he got into the motherfucking seat of the big dog and whatnot. He handpicked certain artists to become super duper megastars on YouTube platform, and then the drill rappers came and then they started going viral and whatnot. You know, behind the scenes, they could, if they could tweak the numbers, the numbers, men lie, women lie, so do numbers in this new game. You know what I'm talking about? Men lie, women lie, so do numbers. They could tweak the recommends. They could tweak the algorithm to whereas the minute you finish watching a movie, Bad and Bougie is right there. I mean, and you could watch a clip, then next up is Bad and Bougie. I remember watching super duper conscious channels, and then right after that, they was giving me King Von. I'm like, what? This shit don't even go together. They don't even go together. They was giving me, you know, the best of the fucking trap rappers. You know what I'm talking about? Like, what are we doing? They was giving me Young Thug after watching Sonetter TV. I'm like, this shit don't even work. Like, why are you not giving me a conscious? Where's KRS-One? You know what I mean? Where's KRS? You know what I'm talking about? Like, where's the woke niggas? They putting you right into the war in Chirac and shit like that. I'm like, damn. That was a manipulation of the algorithm, and it pumped those numbers up. So now, of course, middle America, the youth, the 13 and the 14 and the 15-year-olds, they're infatuated with the numbers. Who's trending? Who's doing 100 mil? You know what I'm talking about? I'm here before we pass the 1 million mark. All of that shit in the comment section. So they became fans, or they became stans, or they bought into this quote unquote dream, or they bought into the culture just based off of number manipulation. Right? Of course, when he came in, and that's when they started demonetizing the conscious channels. That's when they started dropping the algorithm, because prior to him coming in, consciousness was running YouTube.
To this day. To this day.
I don't know if y'all was there. You know what I mean? I don't want to assume that y'all was there. You know what I mean? I don't want to assume that y'all was there. But I was there. Right? I was there. And consciousness was going viral. You have videos doing 1 million. You have videos. There was some videos that hit 1 million mark. I'm talking about, I seen 1 million in 09. I seen 1 million in 09. There was videos going 1 million, my nigga, right off of YouTube. Straight consciousness, banging on the beats. Okay? Straight banging on the beats. I'm talking about them outdoor when they was in the streets in Harlem, going in with the outside debates and whatnot. 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. That shit was going parabolic. The minute Liar came in, shit started. The channels got demonetized. They started removing shit. You couldn't say certain things. That's when the censorship started rolling out. They was handpicking and cherry picking who you could talk about, what you could talk about, and when you could talk about it. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. That's why I'm riding for Dave Chappelle, because he is standing up for the rights of creators and whatnot to say what the fuck they want to say, the same way that everybody else could say what the fuck they want to say. You can't tell me what I could say and what I can't say, and you letting these niggas say what the fuck they want to say, and they got people still online drilling and killing and whatnot, and these niggas can have straight gang beefs and online beefs. I'm talking about murder beefs, and you help promote that and push that. Tell me if y'all can hear the audio.
It's been said in the press that I was invited to speak
to the transgender employees at Netflix, and I refuse. That is not true. If they had invited me, I would have accepted it, although I am confused about what we're speaking about. I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not? You said you want a safe working environment at Netflix. Well, it seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore.
This nigga's on tour right now.
I want everyone in this audience to know that even though the media frames it that it's me versus that community, that is not what it is. Do not blame the LGBTQ community for any of this shit. This has nothing to do with them. It's about corporate interests and what I can say and what I cannot say. And I need you to know this.
Fair use, copyright.
Everyone
Fair use.
I know from that community has been nothing but loving and supporting.
Fair use.
So I don't know what all this nonsense is about. In summer 2020, when the whole world shut down, I was outside doing shows. My neighbor had a cornfield, and he let me throw shows there, and people came from all over the country. Some people came from around the world to see those shows. The best comedians on earth came to my home and broke bread with me, and we lived our lives. We found a way to keep moving forward. I made a whole documentary about it. The first night of those shows was a piece that some of you might have seen. It was called 846, and it dealt with the death,
the murder
of George Floyd.
That's right.
This film that I made was invited to every film festival in the United States.
Fair use, fair use.
I accepted. And when this controversy came out about the closer, they began disinviting me from these film festivals. And now, today, not a film company, not a movie studio, not a film festival, nobody will touch this film. Thank God for Ted Sarandos and Netflix. He's the only one that didn't cancel me yet.
You heard what he said. He got dropped by all of the festivals. They will not touch his new documentary.
Transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience, but you will not summon me. I am not bending to anybody's demands.
To this day! To this day!
And if you want to meet with me, I'd be more than willing to, but I have some conditions. First of all, you cannot come if you have not watched my special from beginning to end. You must come to a place of my choosing and a time of my choosing. And thirdly, you must admit that Hannah Gatsby is not funny. I desperately want people to see this movie, but I understand why investors would be nervous. Since nobody will touch it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will make it available for all of you in 10 American cities, going on sale in the next few days. You will be able to see this movie in its entirety, and you can see what they're trying to obstruct you from seeing. And you can judge for yourself, but you cannot have this conversation and exclude my voice from it. That is only fair. You have to answer the question, am I canceled or not? Then let's go. Thank you very much.
Yo, Dave is a genius. Look, Dave got a whole documentary. Look, he going city to city with a documentary, right? In the middle of controversy where he's supposed to have been canceled. He's like, fuck that. I'm taking full advantage, right? And he's milking that shit like he should. Like he should. Salute to you, Dave. You know what I'm talking about? He's running with the motherfucking hype, and he's going to quote unquote, he's gonna run over all of these fake ass cancel culture in their feelings. Think about this. Think about this, right? He, in his special The Closer, highlighted the quote unquote transgender comedian, right? That he basically was like, yo, that was my people's right there. And I had her open up for me, right? Daphne, I believe, is the name of the person that he's talking about. Daphne wound up taking her life after being bullied, dragged, and quote unquote canceled by her own community, okay, via Twitter and things like that online. Dave had nothing to do with Daphne jumping off of a roof and whatnot. It was the quote unquote alphabet community that basically dragged Daphne to the roof and pushed her off of it based off of what it is that they were doing. And we know, let's not even go there. We know how they play. We know what the online bullying looks like. We know when they're in your quote unquote inbox, when they're talking about canceling your Gap card and whatnot, your Banana Republic subscription. You know, we know when they pull out all of the stunts, all of those companies that have the rainbow insignia during Pride Month, they'll have all of these corporate entities come after you. They could even freeze your bank account if they really wanted to. You understand? Dave didn't have nothing to do with that. Imagine if Dave drove Daphne off of a roof and whatnot. Imagine if Dave and his audience was responsible for bringing Daphne to the ledge and pushing her over. Just think about how that shit would be on his legacy. They would never, every interview that they would do with him, they would bring that up. They would never let him forget about it. It would be a permanent stain on his jacket, right? But he actually did the opposite. He supported somebody from the LBGT community. He had that person open up for him. He was building a relationship, a business relationship with Daphne. He was making Daphne the quote unquote, a legitimate comedian, which was a dream of Daphne's. Nobody wants to have that conversation. Nobody wants to have that conversation. Okay, let's talk about the hypocrisy that takes place on levels that that nobody is willing to, I'm talking about, that nobody is really willing to admit, right? Let's talk about the organizer of the walkout and how this person is a completely a very toxic person who puts out racist tweets, right? So it's like, oh my goodness, my feelings are hurt. Oh my goodness, my feelings are hurt. You guys are so mean and whatnot. But it comes to find out that none of you, that you motherfuckers are not, you know what I mean? Stop acting like y'all are some Gandhi, you know what I mean? Meditated, you know what I'm saying? Some yoga, you know what I mean? Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're going to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it 100. We know that y'all play dirty. It's called hiding your hand. You throw rocks and hide your hand. You throw rocks and hide your hand. This is something we know. But niggas is too scared to admit it. I don't know. Maybe because you niggas work at the Gap and you can't really say nothing online. They got you by the balls. They got you by the balls. But somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. You know? So let's talk about the activists behind, you know, the walkout and whatnot. And they're supposed to walk out and cause a big ruckus. They're supposed to cause a big ruckus, right? But that shit didn't do nothing. The activist behind Netflix walkout over a transphobic comedy special has made bigoted tweets against Asians and guess what? Homosexuals in the past. What the fuck? Ashley Marie Preston, the activist behind the Netflix walkout, has made several problematic tweets in the past. This is what is called an opportunist, right? She saw the opportunity to make a few bags because whenever you get into this sort of activism and you play on that side, they'll pay. They pay like they weigh. You know what I'm talking about? It's some money involved. It's a bag involved. You're gonna get dust. You're gonna get invited to all of Elton John shit. You know what I'm talking about? You're gonna get Lady Gaga tickets. You know, and you'll be, you'll be, you know what I'm saying, you'll be considered for a lot of shit that they got coming up, BET specials and all of that. Anyway, Ashley Marie Preston, the activist behind Team Trans Netflix walkout over the Dave Chappelle comedy special, has made a series of problematic tweets in the past. Now it's problematic, right? Just call it what it is. It's problematic. Okay. Screenshots of tweets she has made in the past have gone viral that reveal a deep-seated hatred towards Asians and homosexuals. Matt, who is a documentary filmmaker and journalist, according to his Twitter profile, shared screenshots of her tweets where she could be seen expressing the desire to commit violence against homosexuals. She said in September 2018, bro, I beat the dog shit out of you, furry slipper wearing ass fuck boy. IRL, I smash your effing head in like a can of A&W root beer, but I'm gonna fall back and let you keep pretending for the internet. D Rider, right? I could just hear it. She sounds like she has mad Newports on her breath. You know what I'm talking about? And she just says all kind of crazy shit. She's just talking out of her neck. A series of tweets also shows bigotry towards the Asians, not the Asians, the Asians. In one tweet, she claimed that she has broken her phone on the head of an Asian woman. Oh my goodness, stop the Asian violence. I think she was the one that set up. She probably is the head leader of the Asian on the black on Asian violence. You know what I'm talking about? She set it off with the broken phone. The tweets are littered with abuses of the worst kind. Did you see them make a big deal about this? Did the mainstream Don Lemonhead and all of these that you know what I'm saying? Did Chris Fomo report about this? I don't think so. Did they talk about this on The View? I don't watch it. Let me know. Asian hoes act like they won't get karate chopped they motherfucking throat. What is this hoe staring at? Mind your beeswax. Latino and Asian businesses need to stop being rude and effing disrespectful. And I know it's a lot to ask in California, but speak effing English too. She said she in McDonald's on Wilshire eating a Saweetie meal, eating my salad and protein wrap. Right. Oh, I'm in McDonald's eating my salad and protein wrap. Oh my goodness. She's focused. Yeah, she's focused. This Asian nigga keep looking at me. So she's clearly with the shits, you know what I mean? She's got a lot of Compton tendencies and whatnot. So, you know, we just seeing the hypocrisy, you know what I mean? This is on a smaller scale, but it's this, yeah, she's definitely hard body, you know what I mean? She's definitely hard body, and she's 400 lbs. We know that bitch she drinks Cisco at midnight. You know what I'm talking about? She just got that. She is just that, you know what I mean? I'm picking up on it. That's not Moet talking. You know what I'm talking about? That's not Moet talking. That's right. That bitch should have opened up instead of Daphne. She's a little more lit than Daphne and whatnot. All I'm pointing out is the hypocrisy that you'll see whenever you dig in with all of these fake ass outrages and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? It's called fake outrage, and it's called being opportunists. You know what I'm talking about? That, yeah, that's not that White Star. That ain't that Merlot. You know what I mean? That's not that Merlot. That's that Cisco talking. That's that Four Loco, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? That's that Four Loco on her breath. But anyway, you know, she got some issues. You know what I mean? And it always be those ones that jump at the opportunity to point fingers. But when you point a finger, motherfucker, 3 fingers is pointing back at you. Yeah, that's that Mad Dog talk. That's that Mad Dog 2020 talk. You know what I'm talking about? Like, she wakes up off the Mad Dog and start tweeting. You know, she's kind of, you know what I'm saying? You know, she's lit. She's definitely lit. You know what I mean? That easy Jesus. You know what I'm talking about? That easy Jesus was talking. So shout out to Dave. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. We're still talking about the motherfucking special, The Closer, about a month later, right? When was this show that we did? Let me see. Let me pull this show up. This was a minute ago, my genius, and we still talking about it, right? We still talking about it. This was what? This was Third Eye Thursday back in the days. This was a minute ago, and we still talking about Dave right now. You know what I'm saying? That just goes to show you the staying power. We're in the attention economy. There's no such thing as bad attention. There's no such thing as bad attention. Okay? There's no such thing as bad attention anymore. It's attention. You know what I'm talking about? It's attention is attention. If you know how to monetize it, then you get your team together and you niggas push forward. If you allow somebody to cancel you and bury you and you tuck your tail, nigga, that's on you. That is on you. You know what I mean? That's something you might not understand the climate of the economy that you're in, and you just thought that you was in this old school shit where, you know, no, there's gonna, you, if they cancel you, my nigga, you need to go in whatever niche, whatever support group that you have, build that community and stay over there. You can't be everybody's friend, and everybody ain't gonna like you. All publicity is good publicity. That's a fact. That is a super fact. Don't ever be under the impression that this new world that we live in, just because they report somebody and their fuckery either on the news, even if a nigga get locked up for lewd and lascivious type of things, that's attention. You know what I'm talking about? That's attention. And people are basically monetizing attention these days, good and bad. So Dave is pushing in the right direction. This nigga is on tour as we speak. As you saw, he was on a stage. This was from yesterday. This nigga's on tour, and he's pushing the documentary, and the tickets is $150 and up. Come on now. I mean, that Asian wife done sat down and plotted some shit, my niggas, and they got a plan. They got a plan, because remember, at the end of The Closer, he was like, yeah, I ain't doing stand-up for no more. You know, I'm a relax. Nigga, he was just at stand-up. So that goes to show you that, yeah, he's riding the wave of this, quote unquote, of this controversy to the motherfucking bank, as he should, instead of sitting around doing little boozy tweets against that community and whatnot. He's taking a better way, and he's just going, he's creating more material, right? He's using it to create more material, and then he's going to take the quote unquote, he's going to use all of that to push his supporters to go and see him live, and niggas are pulling up. Remember, Dave Chappelle is the Live Nation for woke niggas. you don't hear me though. Do you remember Dave Chappelle's block party? Dave Chappelle was giving these tree hugging niggas a motherfucking stage to stand on when niggas was completely not paying attention to Common, Mos Def, Talib Kweli. This nigga is Live Nation for woke niggas. He did the Dave Chappelle Radio City Music Hall shit. He was the nigga who had Kanye popping when Kanye wasn't sure of himself. You dig what I'm saying? He's always been behind the woke niggas. He's always been on that side. So so when I see his comedy and when I see what he represents, and when I'm seeing what he's standing on, I'm like, well, God damn it, what you think he gonna stand on? You know what I'm talking? This woke Jesus. You know what I'm talking about? Not Hotep Jesus. This nigga's woke Jesus. The Roots. He was pushing the Roots before they had got signed to what was that? What was it, Jimmy Kimmel? Boot camp. I mean, he's the Live Nation. Who else is bringing them out on stage like that? Who else is creating venues for these niggas to rock and to introduce them to a whole new crowd? Dead Presidents, Roots, John Legend, Common, Talib Kweli, Black Star. He had them niggas lit. Erica Badu. You know what I mean? Badu. He was behind all of that. I'm not saying that he didn't get them signed. They was already signed. Yeah, the whole Ruckus out, the whole fucking Ruckus roster. He was promoting them when he was lit. Remember Dave Chappelle Block Party? The shit that he did in Bed-Stuy? Oh man, that was a movie. You know what I'm talking about? That was a movie. That was it. Make sure y'all sign up to the Discord. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe. And make sure y'all hit the motherfucking Cash App. Talk black to me. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Dead Prez was the intro for the Chappelle Show. Were they? J. Cole was a student in the audience. Huh? You feel me? Huh? I wish that I was there. I was tight that I didn't make it there. It's a lot of good info in the Discord. Y'all need to pull up. All of my Patreons, I connected the Discord to the Patreon. I'm trying to figure out, I don't know if it worked or not, but we're still behind the scenes tweaking everything. But all of the Patreons is coming over to Discord. We're going to be one big happy family and whatnot. We've been over there turning up, having audio rooms, doing a lot of things. Shout out to everybody in the Discord, all of my moderators. Little Goddess is lit over there. You know what I'm talking about? The Hootie, everybody. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. And yeah, let's keep turning up and let's keep disseminating information and building a community. We're really building over there. Shout out to everybody who's ready for this Conscious Connections. We in Scorpio season. I told y'all. Scorpio season, Scorpio season, it's here. You know what I'm saying? The way that the fucking time is flying so fast, I need to hurry up and jump on this shit and help launch this Conscious Connections e-dating site. So, people could make some love connections. You know what I'm talking about? We could make some love connections. Invite me to the baby shower. You know what I'm talking about? I'll pull up. Invite me to the baby shower. You know what I mean? I will pull up. I like baby showers. You know what I'm talking about? I do like baby showers. I had, for my son, Amir, I think we had 2,000 people at the baby shower. This shit was lit. It was like a fucking party. We was in the hood too. We was in like a community center. You know what I mean? We had mad people, and most of it was his mama's. You know what I'm saying? She was like a hood celebrity. But I like that, we're gonna get people, we're gonna get people to meet each other, get all of this awkwardness out of the air, because niggas surely be awkward out here in these streets. So we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna try to iron that out. We're gonna get to the bottom of that, you know what I mean? And we'll send you to Tulum with your bae. You know what I'm talking about? We might even have a giveaway, a Tulum trip or something. You know what I mean? Send y'all to St. Croix and shit. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. I don't know why he scrubbed it. You got to ask him. His birthday is coming up. You know what I'm talking about? He might be, I'm about to scrub my Instagram as well in a minute. I need an app to do it though. I can't be going through. I got like thousands of posts, but it's time to scrub. It's time to just, niggas need rebranding. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is the attention economy. You feel me? When I start wearing my suits and I get my iPhone 13 and, my pictures start being clearer and whatnot, I'm going to have to scrub my site and take all of that shit off of it, all of them blurry pictures and whatnot, and start anew. So I understand, it's marketing. A white folk just got killed in Tulum. Yeah, I don't even know why white people are into loom. You know what I mean? That's definitely not for them. No conscious catfishing. Yeah, we not. Yeah. I asked y'all not to send me news and y'all did, but I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not judging you, but you know, we're gonna have to definitely have a vetting process where, here's my email. Like I said, I mean, we're here now. Like we're in Scorpio season. Ladies, if y'all want to be a part of this thing called Conscious Connections, you know what I'm saying? You got to send a picture. You know what I mean? I'm not, unless I see a picture, we can't move forward. You know what I'm saying? We got to know what, got to know what we working with. You know what I mean? Fellas, you got to send a picture too. You know what I'm talking about? And do me a favor and smile in your picture. You know what I mean? Do me a favor and smile. We got to see what the furniture is looking like because ladies got a thing about teeth. You know what I mean? Don't judge me. It's not me. It's the ladies. They got a thing about teeth. So, smile. Let me know how many root canals you got. Yeah, but no nudes. No nudes. We're not taking it that far. You know what I mean? This is not OnlyFans. I gave up on that life. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking. We're not doing OnlyFans, but we are hooking people up. We're going to have it to whereas we'll have a goddess, an empress. Well, like I said, first we're going to have a panel. Before we jump into all of that, we're going to have a panel. We might even have people who are in relationships already as a part of the panel. Okay. What kind of picture? Is it just a face shot? Give me a face and body. I got caught out there back in the days on Instagram with only those shots where it's just the neck up. And then I went on a date and I was like, damn, no wonder it was just the neck up. So we should do, keep it classy. You know what I'm saying? We conscious, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're not knuckle draggers. So don't be shy. You know what I'm talking about? Don't be shy. Like Kevin Gates was talking about the big girls and whatnot. We love our big girls over here. We pro BBW. You know what I'm talking about? We not out here body shaming, body morphia, whatever they call that. Body dysmorphia. Nah, we not on that. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody's beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. Yeah, four photo minimum. We're not doing a photo shoot. I don't want your whole photo album. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want your photo album. Um, no photo albums, just a few pictures so we could get an idea. No catfishing, you know what I mean? Play fair. You know what I'm talking about? Play fair. And you said, what's the name of the Discord? Know the Ledger. Ancient Little Goddess. I'm gonna drop the link for it right now. Little Goddess got the link. Know the Ledger is the name of the Discord. Hop on in. You know what I mean? You will be they'll put you up, they'll get you your room. You know what I mean? The shit is like Squid Games. You'll get your bunk bed, your motherfucking tracksuit, and then boom. You know what I mean? It's the murder games. You know what I'm saying? They put you right on the floor, and if you fuck up, you die. That's how we playing over there. You need to see them thick ankles. You know what I'm saying? So the panel is going to set the stage, right? We're going to ask some of these goddesses and empresses, what do you need in a man? What's your ideal? What is your ideal God? You know what I mean? What's the high value God to you? You know what I'm saying? Because we want to know. We want to know. We don't know. I'm here to let you know. Niggas don't know. We don't know. We just assuming we don't know. We really don't. We really don't. We don't know what you want. You know what I mean? Shit kind of difficult these days to figure things out. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll have men, real men, right? High valued men. Okay. And they'll let the women know. They'll speak from experience. They'll speak about preferences. They'll speak about things that they're looking for in their in what they deem as an ideal mate. Now, my name is the Red Pill, and I've been familiar with the manosphere, right? For many, many years and whatnot. I kind of avoided it at first because when I first stepped into it, I was like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? I forgot the name of the dude, but this was like 2012. I used to be on I used to be on Facebook and Instagram. And this was like my introduction to the manosphere. I forgot the name of homie, but he would put memes out. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that's one of these niggas that's on YouTube underneath a whole nother moniker doing like Black Power type of videos and whatnot. Because the voice and everything sounds familiar. It was like one of those deep voice, but he never showed his face. But he would put memes out there. And he was very angry. He was very angry, and it seemed like he did not like black women anymore. Okay, it seemed like he didn't like black women anymore because it was very. I tasted the vitriol in his speech, right? So I'm like, this is a little homoerotic to me. I'm not feeling it. You know what I'm talking about? Because I can understand black men being mad because it was at one point that I was mad. You know what I'm saying? I was mad because I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of angry, right? I was kind of angry. You know what I mean? I have admitted to that. I said it before. I go back on older videos and it's cringe. It's cringe. I was cringing because I was like, damn, bro, I could hear the hurt in your voice. You know what I'm saying? I could hear the hurt in your voice. You feel me? But then I had, I got over that. You know what I'm saying? I had got chosen and whatnot, and shorty, she cleaned me up. So anyway, I kind of like it, it didn't draw me in. It didn't draw me in because you feel me? It just wasn't something that I was like resonating with like that. You know what I mean? I was like, these niggas are kind of heavy handed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the right approach, right? And I wasn't capping or whatnot. It wasn't like I was wearing a cape. And then they went and hijacked the whole thing called Red Pill Movement. I'm like, what are we doing? Like Red Pill Movement? What did I got to do with the red pill? You know what I'm talking about? So I was kind of offended and shit. I'm like, niggas done hijack my name, and it's in these men going their own way, and I'm like, what way? Like, where are they going? Where to white women? What are we doing, Becky's? Is this just a reason to go to Becky? Are you trying to intellect? Is niggas trying to intellectualize going to Becky? I mean, what are we doing? You know what I'm talking about? Are we trying to intellectualize going to Brazil? You know what I mean? Just go to Brazil and pipe them down, my nigga. You don't have to do a whole fucking spiel and throw women under the bus. You know? But I've been told that I should go and check it out because it has grown legs and there's some interesting conversations taking place. Patrice O'Neal, you mean the comedian that died? Was that the Patrice O'Neal you talking about? Let me know, because that was my guy. But I didn't know how far he was taking it. O'Shea, go to Africa, leave that man alone. I just got back from the continent, real asses, tiggle bitties, no makeup, just God's creation. I hear you, baby Yoda. I hear you, baby Yoda. Oh, it was my guy, Patrice, who died. Is that what it is? Imagine how many imagine how many people run into that searching for me, though. You feel me? Imagine how many people run into the fuckery when they looking for red pill and they get caught up in the manosphere and they never get to see red pill. They just get caught up. They think I had people asking me, yo, that your movement is lit. And I'm like, what's the movement? They like the red pill movement. I'm nigga, that's not me. You know what I'm talking about? That's not me. What are you talking about? You don't hear me talking like that. That's not me. Yeah, Tommy Sotomayor. You feel me? So I'm gonna do some research in that world. I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna go through that rabbit hole. I'm definitely familiar with Kevin Samuels. I fucks with Kevin. He went viral. Niggas is calling him Samuela. I'm not here for the slander. My Discord link expired. Hold on, little goddess. Did you hear that? Look at this. You know what I'm saying? It's only one red pillar that we acknowledge. You know what I mean? For the record, you know, I did the patent searches and everything when I first started out. There was no red pill anything when I popped off. You know what I'm saying? There was no red pill anything when I first popped off. When I hopped off the porch, I was unto myself, and then all of this other stuff started coming up. But it's okay because, like I said, at this point in the game, you know, I've kind of outgrown this whole red pill thing in a sense. You know what I'm talking about? And at this point in the game, I've kind of outgrown it. You know, I have to, I might pop out with an African name next. I don't know, but you know, at this point, you feel me? At this point, you know, the red pill thing is cool. You know, we do red pillar when we do the music, but you know, we're gonna have to take it in another direction. You know what I'm saying? That's like how Nas is sitting in the crib right now. He's trying to figure out what his new name is gonna be because of Little Nas X. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas done fucked up the moniker, you know? But the rap name would always be Red Pillar, of course. It will always be Red Pillar. But we're gonna have to change the name up a little bit. Cause look, Candace Owens, right? She was Red Pill. She was Red Pill Black. Van Lathan, this nigga had a podcast called Red Pill Podcast. And then now we got all of this Red Pill movement shit. Like they're trampling on the trademark. You know what I'm talking about? They're running with the fucking cloth. So it's like, I don't even want to, you know what I mean? I don't really, I feel like people are eating off of me. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah, I might be Philharmonic. You know what I'm talking about? I might be Philharmonic. I might be philanthropy. You know what I mean? I might be philosophy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna play on the Phil. I'm gonna play on the Phil. You know what I'm talking about? But we gotta switch it up. Was I red pill before the Matrix? What do you think? No, I wasn't red pill before the Matrix. I was red pill after the Matrix. Yeah, that's the Matrix. But Sophia Stewart, right? Sophia Stewart, she Christianed us. She gave red and blue pill. She basically Christianed us, the red pill and blue pill twins. So that's coming from the source. That's coming from mama. You know what I'm talking about? That's coming from mama. You know what I mean? I don't gotta ask nobody permission after she gave me the plug. You know what I mean? She Christianed us. You know? I see y'all joining the Discord. Yeah, salute to everybody. I feel you. I feel you. So yeah, I'm gonna venture into that world. I'm gonna check out these names that y'all gave me and whatnot. I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna see what they saying and whatnot. You feel me? I'm not gonna let it affect me. I won't let it affect. I'm not gonna become all hardened and shit like that. I love, I adore. You feel me? I worship and I submit to the black woman. You know what I'm saying? I came from a black woman. I will return to a black woman. Black women have gave birth to the greatest creations on this planet, which are the babies, the seeds and whatnot. And I'm not simping. You dig what I'm saying? There's issues amongst the genders that we have to deal with. I'll never sit back and say the shit that I see outside. Look, I used to be in Harlem for 20, well, almost 20 years, right on 125th Street, across the street from Apollo, standing behind a table and whatnot. You see how you got Instagram scrolls and whatnot, niggas just be scrolling through their phones. Imagine standing there and the motherfucking streets is the scroll because it's foot traffic out there. That was the scroll, right? I was able to see our people in all of their dysfunction and their functioning every single friggin' day. To this day.
To this day. To this day.
No, the dude from TMZ, that's Van Lathan. That's what I'm talking about. He had the Red Pill podcast. This nigga didn't even invite me on Red Pill podcast. The nerve of his fucking cluck. You know what I'm talking about? The nerve of him. But anyway, I digress. So I saw young girls grow up, right? I saw some of my comrades' children's grow up. just standing behind that table. I saw some of my comrades' wives who they would come up to the table with, and the wife was all giddy and whatnot in the beginning and whatnot. And then throughout the years, I saw, the change in their demeanor, in the clothes that they were wearing, and the things that they were doing. I seen women creeping. I seen men creep. I seen a lot of things standing behind that table. You would never believe it, right? You would never believe it. And it did something to of course it affected me in negative ways, and of course it affected me in I feel like I got somewhat desensitized, and I got I got somewhat desensitized, and I was getting dehumanized in a sense, standing behind. I was becoming, quote unquote, disenfranchised, or I was becoming disenchanted with a lot of things, just standing behind that table all of those years and whatnot. The quote unquote COVID lockdown, when I was able to get the fuck off the street and really sit back and get into myself and be in the motherfucking crib and take a break, that did monumental things for my mental health. That did monumental things for my mental health, because to be honest with you, no one man should be standing out there all of those years and whatnot, because I was absorbing a lot. I seen fights, I seen stabbings, I seen stick-ups, I seen 3-card Monty. You know what I mean? I seen turning of tricks and whatnot. I seen pockets getting dug. I seen a lot of things just standing there. And to be honest with you, I'm standing there in the name of consciousness. I'm representing something of a higher standard and whatnot. And I'm being exposed to a bunch of shit because, nigga, I'm in Harlem. I'm on 125. When I first came on 125th Street, and it was Jack Felder, Nova Felder, Sonetta, and a few other people right in that area and whatnot, we were in the circumference of the illegal DVD dudes. And I'm not going to call it illegal DVDs, but them niggas was running from the police. These was gangsters out there. I'm talking about these was hood niggas, pimps, robbers, you know what I mean, jostlers. But I come from the streets, so that's my element and whatnot. And I could understand the grind, I could understand the hustle, I could understand the niggas gotta eat and whatnot. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We respect each other, we don't get in each other's way and whatnot. But I was in the circumference of a lot of toxicity and things of that nature, just because, my nigga, I was exposed to a lot. And throughout the years, as the consciousness raised and whatnot, as the frequency increased, that shit began to evaporate, and we began, we didn't even have to forcibly do anything. It just disappeared from our circumference and whatnot, because the energy and the force, it was rising. It was becoming very great. And a lot of people, we were conforming people. I mean, there was people who was out there and that was grinding and getting it out the mud and whatnot. I would see them years later, and they had their shit together. They was like, we was inspired by you niggas. We would watch y'all on YouTube. I had one dude, he was like, yeah, I got locked up and whatnot. And then I started really paying attention. I was out there with y'all all of this time, but when I was locked up, I had a phone and I was able to pay attention and listen to it. And that shit changed my life forever. And then there was some other people that went down, it was a lot of stories. You'll see it in the documentary in 2030. But it affected me, bro. It affected me, not in a negative way. It just affected me. You know what I'm saying? It was, I was in the mud. You know what I mean? I was the lotus flower that growing out of the mud. You know what I mean? Like, there's no denying that just being out there, you're in the fucking mud. And my respect for my sisters and whatnot, it definitely was impacted by some of the shit that I was seeing, because I was like, why? Like, what are we doing with ourselves? Like, what the fuck is this about? But fortunately, sisters who were into consciousness began to come through. And if you watch some of my videos with Black Magic 363, especially with Black Magic 363, I had a whole bunch of videos that I did with sisters. I did some shit with, we started doing videos with Conjure Queen. We started doing videos with my sister Candy. We started doing videos. There was a whole run that I did with my peoples. What's her name? DJ. Oh my goodness, she gonna kill me for this. Damn, I'm forgetting her name. It's escaping me right now. Yes, we did videos with Sister Ayana, which were monumental. You know what I mean? We put up some great videos with Ayana. And I'm talking about these are outside videos. We outside in the streets together. You know what I'm talking about? We outside in the streets together. And we talking about relationships. We talking about sex. We talking about affairs of the hearts. We talking about shadow work. We talking about procreation. We talking about abortions. We were talking about real life topics, real shit. And I was highly impressed with the intellect that these sisters were bringing. I was like, I was floored. I was floored to a degree. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Like these sisters are on it and whatnot. And then fast forward, you know, sisters have they've gotten their shit together. They got movements. Conjure Queen is lit right now. She got her own movement. She's popping. You feel me? Like a lot of good things came out of that. A lot of good things came out of that. You feel me? And they helped restore a lot of the faith that was being taken away because of what I was being exposed to just standing out there in Harlem. Yes, DJ Electra.
To this day. To this day.
DJ Electra. That was, you know, I had big love for her. You know, I had big love for her. She was holding it down too. You know what I'm talking about? She was holding it down, but she wasn't coming from a perspective of somebody who was trying to be super consciousness. She was really like speaking for the streets and shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? She was speaking for the streets, but when she first met me, I don't want to be telling nobody's business and whatnot, but she made me believe that she really fucked with me. Like she gave me $300 just based off of a video that she saw, and I was talking about, you know, getting electronics and building up, you know, my electronics so I could do so. She was like, "Here, this is for you because." You know, I fuck with you like that. And I was like, okay, you know, this is weird. I don't usually get bust downs from shorties, but hey, I'll take it. You know what I'm talking about? I'll take it. And then we started doing videos together, right? We started doing videos together and it was lit. You know what I'm saying? It was lit. Yes, Sister Ella, right? The goddess Sister Ella. We was doing videos with Sister Ella. That was lit. You know what I'm talking about? She was coming with it, you know. And it's just I want to give thanks to those sisters because they don't know how instrumental they were with helping to restore my faith. And not just, it's not me personally. I wanted their images, I wanted their voices, I wanted them to broadcast to our audience because the sisters that were out there deserve to see that. The sisters that were in the audience, there's brothers that be watching the videos who have wives and whatnot, but they like, yo, my wife don't really want to watch you and whatnot because you curse a lot and your energy is turned up and you're a little toxic and whatnot. So I was like, damn. But then when I brought the sisters in with us, they was able to have a motherfucking date night. Like, you know what I'm saying? YouTube and chill. Like, yeah, we're gonna, you know what I mean? We're gonna watch Red Pill and the sisters. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be talking. And that's what happened. You know what I mean? That's definitely what happened. You know? And it was a good run. It was a good run. So as we move forward, you know, this is a new format. Niggas is not outside like that no more. You know what I mean? Maybe when I get to Atlanta, we might set something up where we might come back outside and start doing something outside because Atlanta has nice foot traffic. You know, the key is the foot traffic. You know what I'm talking about? You just can't stand outside and nobody is walking by you and whatnot. The key is the foot traffic. And New York has foot traffic that you know, in Harlem, especially 125th. There's reports that came out that the foot traffic and also the money that's generated on 125th Street is the most, that strip on 125th Street makes more money than Fifth Avenue. And the foot and the foot traffic is unparalleled. There's no foot traffic like 120, not even 34th Street, Herald Square, not the Village in Soho. There's no foot traffic that could compare to the foot traffic on 125th Street. This is a report that I read. So that's the backdrop. That's what the people love. That's the energy. That's the battery in which I pull from when I'm going in. You know what I mean? When I'm tapping in, I'm tapping into the grid, but I'm tapping into the energy of people walking by me. I could tap into love energy. I could tap into hate energy. Cause you know, when you going in, you could look at a motherfucker and they looking at you like they don't like you. They looking at you like you are a whole snack sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? They looking at you with their nose up. People are, but I'm able to pull from that as I'm going in. I'm an alchemist. So I'm taking all of that energy in and I'm using that to go through my memory, my Rolodex and whatnot, to go in my bag and shit like that. Like I'm feeding off of all of the energy. It doesn't matter because energy is energy. Okay, you just can't, if you cross that line, if you get into my personal space, that's a whole nother story. But energy is energy, and we were able to manifest off of the people's energy. And you know, I'm looking to do that again. You know what I'm talking about? I'm looking to do that again. Times Square, nah, not even the foot traffic of Times Square. You feel me? We're talking about river to river in Harlem, not just that strip that you see, river to river, right? The Hudson River, the FDR, the East Side, river to river. That traffic, you know what I mean? It's like a 12 block radius lit. And yeah, it has ancestral energy. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey walked these streets. El Malik Shabazz, Bumpy Johnson niggas. You know what I mean? You know, the legends walked, you know what I mean? Not only did they walk them streets, they put in work on them streets, they cooked on them streets right on that grid. They lit that grid up and whatnot. So we was just carrying on tradition. We didn't start it, and we're not going to be the ones to finish it. Somebody else will rise up in Harlem and do their motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? And take the baton and run with it. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know, I'm welcoming somebody to come and carry on tradition and do what we did. But nobody will never do what we did. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody will never do what we did out there. No one. They will never do what we did. And that's cool. You know what I mean? They should be cool knowing that. But you can't recreate what we was doing in Harlem from like 2008 going into 2018. That 10-year run right there is unmeasurable.
To this day.
Nobody can fuck with that. Nobody can't fuck with that. You know what I mean? We put this shit on the map. You know what I'm talking about? We put on in ways that I have never seen or nobody else put on outside when it comes to this conscious shit. And I'm not being facetious or nothing. I'm just giving you the motherfucking facts.
To this day.
Straight like that.
To this day.
Straight like that. That was a wave right there. You know what I'm talking about? That was a super wave. Like, let's be clear. That was a big wave right there. That tsunami right there. That Sioux surf, nigga. We was up. We was definitely up. You know what I mean? So you know, we could continue. You know what I'm talking about? We could continue it. The only thing I need somebody that I could pull off of, like a Sinetta, you know what I mean? Because I was able to pull off of his energy. You know what I'm saying? I was able to pull off of, we had a protagonist antagonist relationship. We did not like each other for many, many years. We were always bumping heads and whatnot. I stood for something, he stood for something, and it wasn't necessarily, we didn't stand for the same thing, but we were able to make that shit work. You know what I'm talking about? I was with the sovereignty. I was about bringing people together. He wanted them to debate. He wanted them to bang on each other, and he wasn't about no sovereignty. You know what I'm talking about? And you know, there's a whole bunch of other things, but it is what it is. That's my brother right there. You know what I mean? You know, for better or worse. You know, and we were able to utilize being disagreeable disagreeing and not being disagreeable, and then being able to come together and utilize whatever energy that we had to bring other people into the fold, interview them, build with them, right? Introduce them to the world and things of that nature, set up these conversations outside in open air where we were exposing people walking by to people who are legends right now. Legends. You know what I'm talking about? Super legends. You know? Super legends. They were right there, and people used to walk right by. I remember when Bobby Hemmett was out there, motherfuckers walking right by like they don't know that the quote unquote master teacher is standing right there. I remember Phil being out there. I remember Delbert coming through. You feel me? Then I remember all of the new class. You know what I'm talking about? The newer class, these newer classes, the Shaka Atmoses of the world, and you know, all of that shit. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. You know what I mean? We lit that shit up. We lit that shit up. You know what I'm talking about? We lit it up. You know, we lit that channel the fuck up. You know what I'm talking about? We lit that shit up. You know? You know, and then as we lit it up, you know, we had to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? We definitely had to keep it moving because, you know, can't, you know, good things don't last forever. You feel me? Good things don't last forever. There was a line that had got crossed and a misunderstanding, and then, you know, it was over after that because you can't go back after certain things, you know, don't function right anymore. You know, you just got to call it the quits. You know what I mean? You definitely got to call it the quits. And to be honest with you, at that point, I was so wrapped up in what I wanted the people to see and what I wanted, you know, I wanted to do for the people, and the people deserve better and all of that. And it was just, you know, it is what it is, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we had a great run. A lot of people benefit out of that. A lot of people benefited out of that. A lot of people around the world woke up as a result of those demonstrations. And those people have went on to build their own platforms where they've woken up other people. So it's somewhat of a quote unquote, you know, it's like it's a cycle in a sense. It's a cycle. You know what I'm talking about? Good things may not last forever, but great things do. You feel me? Oh yeah, I agree. You know what I mean? I agree. You know what I mean? And in my eyes, me personally speaking, the great thing that lasts forever is know the ledge, is the pillars. You know what I'm saying? Is what we bring to the table. It's you know, like you can't clone it. There's no copying of this. You know what I mean? You can't copy this. You know what I'm talking about? There will be no red pill and blue pill spinoffs. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know, we bring a uniqueness to this community. You know what I'm talking about? We bring a uniqueness to this community. We bring an energy to this community. We bring a whole network to this community. That's a fact. We brought Dr. Sabi to this community. Dr. Sabi wasn't in the conscious community. He wasn't known, but we brought him to the community. We introduced him and we did shows with him and whatnot. And you know, people might have heard about him, but they didn't hear from him. It's a difference. They might have heard about him, but they never heard from him. You know what I mean? And we help open that up. King Simon as well. He was responsible for bringing them into the community. But yeah, you know, it was fun. It was fun. It was very fun. Um, and when it was being done, it was just being done. We wasn't doing it, you know, we was able to look back on it years later. But when we was doing it, we was doing it. You feel me? Doing the music. When I linked up with Cambada, we did Made for This, Scorpion King, like all of that happened. Yeah, red and blue, purple like Prince. You feel me? Like all of that happened organically. You know what I mean? And that's how I respect shit that happens organic. It just happened organically. It happened because it was meant to happen. It happened because it was time. And you know, here we are. You know what I mean? Here we are. Like I said, when you know, when the documentary comes out, you know what I'm saying? We'll get into it further. You know, shout out to A.A. Rashid. He doesn't get enough credit for his impact. His impact in the community was very big because he came home from doing 10 years in 2006. I wasn't on those stages. I wasn't teaching. You know, he came in and he kicked the motherfucking door down. And to be honest with you, I would say that he would be, if you were to ask who was one of the first youth teachers, like, because when you talk about Sinetta, there's no disrespect to Sinetta whatsoever at all, but he does represent a certain class. But I wouldn't give him the title of representing the youth culture. That's not his quote unquote claim to fame. He's not the youth. The youth would be our class. It would be brothers such as me and my brother, and A.A. Rashid, and the other teachers who came in who were of a younger, who were like hip hop. You know what I mean? Niggas was on a hip hop shit. We was talking that shit. We wasn't trying to sound all prim and proper and we wasn't trying to sound like elders. You know what I mean? We were letting the elders do what the elders do. You feel me? Like Phil Valentine and them, they would drop in the information the way that they drop it. They would talk and they talk. You know what I mean? They were choosing when they were gonna drop their F-bombs and all of that other stuff. And we were basically teaching, speaking a language that people of our age group and demographics could understand. That's what we were doing. You feel me? We wasn't trying to be like nobody else. We wasn't trying to sound like nobody else. We wasn't trying to quote unquote, we wasn't trying to do none of that, because that ain't, that's not, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? That didn't work for me particularly. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for nobody else, but that didn't work for me. You know what I mean? So I decided not to do no shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that, I'm gonna let the elders do what the elders do, and stay in my lane. So that's a little bit of the history of Harlem. So it's a lot more, but we'll keep that. To be honest with you, I'm sitting here on my reminiscing shit, but when it comes to things like that, I don't want to be biased. I would rather do a show with like Blue Pill and Brother Rich. You know what I'm saying? Black Dot. Yeah, Black Dot set it off, right? Polite comes in 09. Yeah, Polite comes in 09, 2010, right? But like I said, SETI comes in 08, right? Like I said, SETI is this is all the new class that I'm talking about. These are all the new class. But the nigga who shook the room and shook the pillars when he came in was A.A. Rashid in 06. I promise you.
To this day. To this day.
He came with the Kabbalah. He came with the Kabbalah. And a lot of niggas did not fuck with the Kabbalah because you got to really be studious. You know what I'm saying? That's not for everybody. You have to, he came in on some master, like he had the ears of the master teachers like Phil, Bobby and them. They knew what he was coming with, but a lot of the younger people couldn't get with it. But he's coming from doing 10 years, right? For he got caught up, you know what I mean? He got caught up, whatever. We not here judging nobody. Niggas get caught up, we know how it be. The system railroaded him. But when he came after doing 10, and then when he came and he wasn't really trying to, he wasn't coming on some gangster shit. He wasn't coming like he wasn't coming like he was in the yard and whatnot. He actually came out and he was on his super duper smart shit. But it shifted the community. It definitely opened up the door and let the younger teachers and the youth know that our time is up. This is our time. This is our time. Our time. We next. You know what I mean? Niggas was able to see themselves, and it's so like it's I'm trying to explain it to you in 2021, and it might not hit the same because to be a teacher and to be a scholar and to enter the ring is not appreciated and is not looked at the same as it was in 06. In 06, that shit was like getting signed to the Rock, nigga. We talking what? Inky is like 2011. Wow, 20. Inky was a customer. You know what I mean? Then he became a legal eagle with Dr. Ali Muhammad and whatnot. Now he comes later in the game. We talking about early in the movie. You know what I'm talking about? We talking about early in the movie. Black Dot was our OG. Black Dot put out the quote unquote that hip hop book. Black Dot was the one who was, he was his hands, he was always behind the scene working things. You feel me? He was always there. Like Black Dot was working with Blue Pill on his newspaper in 2002, my nigga. You feel me? 2002. It goes all the way back to like 02. Black Dot was a quote unquote editor at Four Corners newspaper and whatnot when he was driving a bus. So he go all the way back. Around that time, we write in A.A. Rashid letters and whatnot and explaining to him what we seeing. We explaining to him this consciousness, this rise in consciousness, the vision that we have that young people could one day, that our generation, our class, we're learning, we're being edified, I'm like, yo, there's a movement, there's some shit building up. You feel me? And he's writing me back and he's like, yo, what year is Shabazz? What Shabazz you talking about? Shabazz from Brooklyn, who was the promoter, or Shabazz who's in the nation and whatnot? Old school Shabazz. You feel me? Yeah, Asir came like 07, I believe, 08. You feel me? He comes, later on too. So it was a fun time, bro. It was a very interesting time. It was the changing of the guards. Brother Shabazz, I would say, well, Brother Shabazz always been there, right? Brother Shabazz always been there, but it goes back to explaining the conscious community. Panic was there as well, because Panic was with Shabazz, who was in Brooklyn, who was the Sinetta before Sinetta, because back in those days, it was the distributors of the DVDs. They were the ones who held the keys. They were the kingmakers. Okay, they were the kingmakers. Professor Griff was always there. Yes, Dr. Alim. Thank you. Dr. Alim was always there. Natural Tahuti, another one, right? He came in 2010. I remember Natural Tahuti being a customer, right? Buying books from us. He was a supporter. And then he basically wanted to get a taste of everything. And he jumped in the ring because Sinetta brought him in, right? Sinetta brought him in because at this point, Sinetta is like a kingmaker, because Phil Valentine gave him the reins of being a kingmaker. He handed over the power to Sinetta after he took it from Shabazz, who was in Brooklyn, because Shabazz violated and put a nigga on DVD who was disrespecting Phil Valentine. And at that point, Dr. Phil Valentine was in New York City. He was the big kahuna in the city when it came to the conscious shit. He was him. All right. He left New York, so you don't see it anymore because he went to Florida. But because Bobby was in Atlanta, but the teacher who was running things in New York was Dr. Phil Valentine. That's all facts. Yeah, KT started teaching around 09, I believe. KT came in around 09. KT and Blue Pill had a store in Atlanta in Little 5 Points called a Duat, right? They had a store called a Duat. And from there, KT started doing blog talk with us and doing the decoding of the movies and all of that shit. And then he took off, and then he got into his science bag but he been studying way before that. He was studying in 01 when I was like low key a knuckle dragger. He was with Dr. Sabi, You know what I mean? He was with Left Eye. You feel me? He was in them, as you could tell, he's very well studied. He was in them books. You feel me? Yes, Sister Burt, rest in peace. Sister Burt was also a big distributor. Big Man was also a big distributor. Azariah was also a big distributor. Sinetta was a big distributor. You know, these are of DVDs. This is the Akashic library. I'm talking about, these were the titles before YouTube. All of them videos that you see on YouTube that's uploaded, them lectures in the 90s and the 80s and whatnot. C. Freeman L, Taj Tariq Bey, Hakeem Bey, you know what I mean? All of the OGs and whatnot. There was the quote unquote DVD salesmen who had 4 to 5 racks, almost 1,000 titles. That shit was gold. $30 a pop, my nigga. What are you talking about? Yeah, the tap DVDs. Yeah, the 3-hour shits that was taped together and whatnot. The 3-hour lectures that was taped together. Brother Reggie came later, right? Brother Reggie was working with Dr. Ben and whatnot, but he came into the community to teach later. Did Dr. Phillips and Sabi have beef? Yep, they had beef back in the days. Yes, they did. You know what I mean? Phil was married to Queen of Four, and I believe that there was a, you know, there was a difference in a quote unquote the way of opinions of what works and what doesn't works. You know what I mean? There was a difference in opinion because, like I said, Sabi was, you know, he wasn't, you know what I mean? Like he was outspoken. Let's just keep it at that. He was outspoken. He spoke his mind, and he wasn't there to make friends and to be showing niggas his teeth and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? He was stomping through things, you know? Yeah, the VHSs with Ajra Kwesi, legendary, you know what I mean? And he wasn't trying to, Ajra Kwesi wasn't letting nobody sell his shit. He was coming to see you if you sold his stuff. He wasn't playing with it. He was coming to see you. He was sending a whole team to flip tables over. He was not playing with, because you got to remember, even though there was the DVD distributors, there was always a big thing about the lecturers were not getting paid. So there was always this thing in the air that niggas was taking advantage of the teachers and whatnot, because they was making $3,000 a day, but nobody was breaking off the teachers. Okay, that was a huge thing in the community for years. All right, let's talk about that one day. Delbert Blair, yes, the legend. You know what I mean? The legend. You know, I started to watch the conscious community back in the days when you used to do your live shows. Those shows were bomb. Yeah, that's Black history. You know what I mean? All of the queens, you know what I mean? Queen Valhara, Ras Mariah Bay, you know what I mean? All of the Moorish, the Moabites and whatnot, they was putting it down. It was his life's work. Everything that everybody did was their life's work. Everybody had their life's work. You know what I mean? They was getting ripped off a little bit. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. That, you know, the contracts, there wasn't contracts back in those days. There wasn't a lot of paperwork and stuff like that. So it was a lot of handshakes and things like that. And a lot of the lecturers was getting ripped off. Yeah, like YouTube does today. Exactly.
To this day. To this day.
But YouTube didn't start that shit. It started in the streets. YouTube didn't start it. You know what I mean? So imagine lecturers coming to Harlem or other places talking about, yo, I want to get PC off of my stuff. And they was getting, you know, niggas was spinning them. They was spinning them. And that's, you know, I don't even want to get into that because that's a can of worms right there. That's a can of worms. That's some shit that a lot of people would like you to forget about because they don't want that to be talked about. That is a can of worms right there. But we got to deal with that one day, because when people ask, yo, how did the community, to be honest with you, that was the first beef. That was the first beef. That was one of the first fractures that took place when, you know, there was dudes banging And they was like, nah, you niggas is not going to be selling DVDs and not paying the elders and not breaking them off. We got to figure this shit out, or you niggas is not going to be working no more. You know what I mean? That's some of that shit was going on. You know, some of that shit is going on. You know, you said the WWF, nigga business, you know, not the WWF, you know, it's fiat all the you know, the you know what I mean? Like instead of doing business, niggas was hustling. You know what I mean? Sometimes some shit turned into a hustle when it could have been straight up business where millions of people, millions of dollars could have been made and spread amongst the quote unquote community and whatnot. But it didn't work like that. You know what I mean? It didn't work like that. Henceforth, there was a lot of friction and people were bumping heads. Okay. There was a lot of head bumping and there was a lot of friction and shit started going to the left. You know what I mean? So I'll just end it at that point. You know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to everybody who played their parts. Shout out to everybody who stand up. Shout out to all, because to be honest with you, it starts with the lecturers. You know what I'm talking about? Because they the ones that do the research. It's their intellectual property. You feel me? It's their intellectual property. They were the lifeline. They were the DNA. They were the blood of this whole thing. If they didn't have hundreds of titles, if they didn't have libraries of intellectual property, which were valuable, I'm talking about this is priceless. Some of this shit is priceless. If they didn't have that, you would not have a community like that. They wouldn't be calling it a community. The lifeblood of the community that funded the community, right, was the DVDs. The lifeblood of the community that woke niggas up was the DVDs and the VHSs. The lifeblood of the community was the teachers, the personalities, the characteristics, the fact that this was called, they called this shit UCLA, University of Lexington Avenue. You could come, you could choose health. I'm gonna get into Dr. Africa. I'm gonna be a student of Dr. Sabi. I'm gonna do all of this stuff. I'm gonna be Dick Gregory got some information. I'm gonna get the Japanese nigga talking about water and whatnot, right? Then you had a cult, Bobby Hemmett. You know what I'm saying? Panic wasn't doing DVDs like that at that point. He was still a student of Bobby's. So you got Bobby, you got C. Freeman, you know what I mean? You had Dawood and what brother Dawood, you know what I mean? You had a few people doing straight occult shit, but Bobby would be the king of that. Then you had metaphysics, and Phil Valentine was the father of that. He's the OG of that. Let's be clear. There wasn't nobody fucking with Phil like that. And then we had Delbert, who's the master scientist and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Talked about the aliens, the diodes, all kind of shit that's going on right now. That's why I just be looking at the news and I go and read Twitter sometimes and I go and read these news stories, but none of this shit impresses me. There's nothing that's surprising me because it's all been talked about 10 to 20 to 30 years ago. So people be like, yo, Red Pill. And then you had the Moorish information, Taj Tariq Bey, Hakeem Bey, Val Hara Bey, you know what I mean? Sister Myra L, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Uriel Bey, rest in peace. You know what I mean? C. Freeman L, rest in peace. There's a lot of rest in pieces because a lot of these elders have taken transitions over the last 20 years. There's a whole pantheon of master teachers that went into the other realm. So, yeah, Sabir Bey as well. So when people try to pin me in a corner, or when people try to pin me or my brother and be like, y'all this or y'all that, I'm like, nigga, y'all, you don't know y'all. You know what I mean? You don't know y'all. Y'all are everything. Y'all are knowledge. I'm knowledge reigns supreme, nigga. Like I'm in multiple schools of knowledge at once. I'm like Neo in the Matrix when he summoned all of those books and whatnot. I'm not limited to one school of knowledge. I'm not limited to one quote unquote discipline. What the fuck is you talking about? What are you talking about? Nigga, I'm gonna die on this hill. It's too much information for me to just be pigeonholed into one school of knowledge. I'm not just going to get into the Hebrew Israelite shit. I'm going to get into the Moorish history. I'm going to get into the occult stuff. I'm going to get into metaphysics. I'm going to get into all of that shit. Whatever speaks to me, that's what I'm going to resonate with. And that's what I did. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I did. That's what I did. And in the long run, you know, it benefited, you know, it benefited everybody in the long run because, you know, I was able to be edified with all of this information, and I'm still seeking. I'll never stop learning. There'll never be a time where I'll be like, oh, I'm finished. I'm good. I'm ready to get up from the table and whatnot. No, this is going to be a lifelong journey. I will always be seeking and searching for information, either from books, texts, or out of the mouth of babes, or from some of these new teachers. You know, I don't care who it is. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care who it is. I'm willing to sit down and be a student and be studious and get my pen and pad and learn from anybody. Yes, Infudishi been there for from the beginning. You know, you dig what I'm saying? Infudishi was there from the beginning. You know, Anthony Browder. Keep in mind, Anthony Browder, Ranoka Rashidi, rest in peace. Dr. Ben, rest in peace. Dr. Clark, all of them. That's the collegiate aspect of the consciousness. That's the college, that's City College, that's Dr. Jeffries. They was lit before anything called the conscious community. Let's be clear. They was lit. Dr. Ben and all of, they had their own movement. They had their own movement. So to call them the conscious community would be sort of kind of disrespectful because they had their own movement before the conscious community. Okay. And it was collegiate and academia based. What we were doing were more so in the streets, my nigga. What Phil Valentine and all of them did when they were coming with occult and metaphysics, they were bucking the quote unquote system. They were going against what the OGs was standing on, which was we going to Kemet, we teaching about, you know what I mean? Like they was considered to be rogue. Yeah, Professor James Smalls, Baba Heru, Baba Samaj. I mean, you know, these are the OGs. These are the grandmasters. Yeah, Dr. Jack Felder. Thank you, Dr. Jack Felder, who put out the papers about AIDS and all of that stuff. Naeem Akbar. You dig what I'm saying? These Amos Wilson, right? These are the master. These are the grandmasters. Yeah, the Slave Theater in Brooklyn. What's my dude? Automatics and whatnot. You feel me? All of those, when you wanted to get that kind of information, remember it was the information was split. It wasn't all in one gumbo pot. There was that type of information, and then there was the consciousness or the underground, what they call the metaphysical underground or the dark matter think tank. They were going a little bit to the left. They were incorporating studies of the Hindus. You know what I mean? They were going into studies of ancient Kemet a little bit further. They were incorporating a lot of things, and that necessarily wasn't what the academia was doing. Even to the point that if anybody's seen the gathering of the masters, Dr. Khalid Muhammad ran up on Bobby Hemmett. They had, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to wash Bobby Hemmett at the quote unquote meeting of the masters in Atlanta before he got killed. Okay. That's history right there. Because Dr. Khaled was like, we ain't with this shit. We, you know what I mean? We straight up on some black power. What is this shit right here? What are y'all talking about? You feel me? Dr. Barashango, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. These, right? This is all collegiate. This is a lot of these are the college professors. You know what I'm talking about? These are the college professors who had multiple other groups and whatnot. They were their own movement. They come before consciousness. They come, this is the 80s, this is the 90s, and this is the early 2000s. They were running that shit. It was way harder to get information back then. You just had to be plugged in. If you was plugged into that secret society, then you would have known when the lectures were happening, when the meetings were happening. You was plugged in, you would be everywhere. But if you wasn't plugged in, you had to kind of get plugged in. Like the shit was almost like, you know, you had to get brought in. You had to get brought in. You can just walk up. You can just walk up on those shit. Yeah, Booker T, Cabo Kumeni. Yeah, all of that. All of that. That's all the legends. That's all of the legends who helped. That's the foundation. They built this shit. That's the grandmaster teachers. They helped build it. They actually watched the conscious community come together. So they were the ones who have to watch YouTube when all of the fuckery is going on. They're the ones that got to watch these young niggas drag the fucking legacy through the mud. They imagine how the elders who are still alive, imagine what that's doing to their anxiety and their hearts and whatnot. And when they walk in the streets, they got to answer questions about, scammers and rapists and all of the stupid shit that's going on and all of the niggatry that's going on in this community right now. They have to answer for that. They can't dodge that shit. They can't dodge that because people still think that that's on them. Yes, and it wasn't just a New York thing. It was Detroit was lit, New York was lit, B-More, ATL, even the West Coast was lit. You feel me? Like it been lit. It been lit. It been lit. It been lit. So it's a story to be told. It would be told one day, believe you me. And if they tell it any other way, you know what I've been seeing too, and the importance about telling your story. Man, I've been watching the BMF series, and I've been watching the Wu-Tang on Hulu. So those are two series to show you in real time that they could take a story. Because if you watch the Wu-Tang documentary, this shit is nothing like the Wu-Tang series. If you watch the BMF documentary, it's nothing like the BMF series. There are characters. And then when I saw RZA's interview on Breakfast Club, he said, yeah, we had to change some shit around for dramatization. So this is my thing to the people who changed the truth around for dramatization for these shows and whatnot. So you mean to tell me that you have no problem with changing real life history, right, to fit the narrative of a fucking TV show? Because I originally thought that Ghostface and Raekwon had real beef, and he's like, nah, they didn't have beef like that. That nigga didn't shoot up his mama's house.
To this day.
So I'm like, how the fuck? I was like, if that's not the case, why would you put that in the show? Because if anybody that's watching the show, they're automatically gonna walk away thinking like, damn, these are the niggas that did the Purple Tape and they had beef like that. Like, what's that about? You feel me? So I'm like, what? And then the BMF show, BMF, they got Big Meech in them. And I seen a documentary with their OG, the one who put them on when they were called the 50 Boys. He's from New York and whatnot. He wasn't on coke. He wasn't flipping on them. He wasn't he wasn't doing none of the stuff that they showing him doing the show. So in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell this person is still alive? How is this nigga gonna go get haircuts and walk through Detroit and walk through the streets and people who know him be like, damn, son, I didn't know that you was foul like that. And he got to answer and be like, nah, that's just TV. Big Meech stated he wanted nothing but the truth to be in it, but 50 Cent went and dramatized it. Nah, BMF is lit. What are you talking about? BMF is lit. They got my nigga Big Meech like Rambo. BMF is lit. That nigga's son, his son, Little Meech or whatever, he's bodying that role. Yeah, he's bodying that role. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. See, I was in Atlanta for BMF, so I seen it go down. You feel me? I seen it go down. I seen the whole rise of it. So I'm invested. I'm like, I want to see I'm invested in that story. You know what I mean? I want to see what that's about. I want to see what the beginnings was like. So it's a dramatization of some shit that really happened. But 50 Cent is doing what he did with his power. He giving it the power spin. You feel me? He's giving it the power spin. You know what I mean? He got my nigga Meech like he Rambo and shit and certain type of things. But he's painting so you could tell that the whole thing is to make Big Meech look like that dude. Even he's sacrificing this nigga's little brother, Southwest T or whatever. He got the brother looking somewhat like a fucking like a flunky in a sense. It's really all about Big Meech. So everybody in the TV show is being downplayed to make Meech look like him. And this is the beginning story. This is their origin story. This is before they even was called BMF. We're not even to the point where he named the crew BMF. We're just in the beginning stages. And based off of the documentaries that I saw years ago, and I saw some shit recently, I'm like, that's not the story that these niggas was telling in the streets. That's not the real story. But it goes to show you that when somebody tells your story, they're going to twist it and turn it and tweak it, right? For either TV or for their personal interest, or whoever bought the rights to the story, they're going to flip that shit. So it's very important that you take control of your narrative. It's very important that you write your story, write down everything that happened, because you don't want nobody to come in and yes, just like thank you. So you see the Biggie movie was not accurate. The Tupac movie was not accurate. The NWA movie was not accurate. They had Dr. Dre like Rambo.
To this day.
What are you talking about?
To this day.
You didn't hear nothing about the gay rumors. You didn't see nothing about what they were talking about. They didn't show homie when he was wearing eyeliner and whatnot. Dr. Dre, when he was mad sus, right? When he was what was the crew before NWA? The Wrecking Crew, huh? Because Dr. Dre was the executive producer. So what did he do? He bleached all of that shit out the story. And then they got him in a hotel beating niggas up. No, nigga, you wasn't beating nobody up. Let's be clear. That's not what the streets are saying. That's not what Tupac said. What Tupac had said was you was out here toe touching. You know what I'm talking about? You was out here touching toes. That's what Ice Cube said. That's what Tupac said. And that's what Suge Knight said, nigga. If it quack like a duck, it's a duck. The Eminem movie was not accurate. So here we are. We're living in real life. We're living in a real life scenario where we could see how they're taking real stories and tweaking them and twisting them and making them shits basically fit their narrative right in your face. They're changing history. That's how the books were written. That's how stories have been told for time immemorial. This is how that shit goes. You're seeing it in real time, how they will take stories and twist and turn it to their liking. And there's nothing that you could say about it because that Godfather of Harlem, another one. Thank you. Nigga. They got Bumpy and Malcolm a little too close. Yeah, they knew each other, but nigga, they wasn't too close. They wasn't close like that. Bumpy caught a body for Malcolm in season 2, nigga. Like, what are we talking about? He bodied somebody from the nation for Malcolm. I never heard of that happening. American Gangster. They tweaked that story with Frank Lucas. They twisted that story and tweaked it. Paid in Full. They tweaked that story. It's the anniversary of 20 years today.
To this day.
That wasn't the full story of Rich Porter and Alpo and AZ, nigga. That wasn't the full story. Bumpy's daughter was trying to give it up. Who, to Malcolm? Yeah. So there's a lot of movies that show you in real time. Look, the Billie Holiday story that Lee Daniels had did, right? That wasn't all the way accurate. My pops was like, that was a crock of shit. You know what I'm talking about? My dad was like, that's a crock of shit. That nigga's lying. I'm like, I know he lying. That's Lee Daniels' dad. He's not him. You know what I'm talking about? He don't play for the he don't play for our team. Embellish the relish. That's right. Embellish the relish. So that's that Hollywood. Yeah, Goodfellas. Somebody has said that they was like, man, that whole story was fake. You know what I'm talking about? That whole story was fake. Yeah, Professor Smalls is one of the people behind Godfather Harlem. But Professor Smalls told me personally, and he also said it because there's a documentary on is it on what it was that Epic? There's a documentary on Amazon about Harlem, and Professor Smalls is in it and whatnot. And Professor Small said, yeah, I gave him a lot of the information, but the over dramatization, he said they did that for TV. I don't have nothing to do with that. I could only give them what I know. And then they went ahead and they wrote whatever they wrote. They wrote the seasons and the scripts. But you know how Hollywood is. They was like, yeah, they had Billy as with the body guy. Remember, what's her girl? What's the girl? Madam CJ Walker. They had her with a Batigal as well, or her daughter was a Batigal, and then the family came out and was like, none of that was true. Y'all lying. Give us our money and whatnot. Stop playing with us. And that had an agenda attached to it. So these movies have agendas attached to it because the writing team or the producer or the director, you feel me, is giving Shrek. Is giving Shrek. You know what I mean? It's giving Shrek. You know what I'm talking about? Like homegirl from that was behind Dear White People giving me Shrek. You know what I'm talking about? You're giving me Shrek. The directors on Matrix, right? The guys that turned into sisters giving me Shrek. You know what I'm talking about? It's not real. You know what I mean? These people have agendas. So I say all of that to say, yeah, dramatize your story, but try your best to stick to the truth, Roof. Yeah, Ma Rainey Black Bottom. Stick to the truth, Roof. You know? Do I got tats? No, I got scars. You know what I'm saying? I got stitches and I got scars. Those are my tattoos. I was under that motherfucking knife getting stitched up. I'm like, nigga, that's the tattoo that's the only tattoo that I need. You know what I'm talking about? Is my scars. I got a whole bunch of them. So Spike Lee's Malcolm X, right? How many people said that the Malcolm X shit was fluffy? How many people said that the Malcolm X shit was fluffy? Right? They was like, that wasn't all the way accurate. That wasn't how it went down. So, but yeah, once again, we encourage y'all to sign up to the Discord. We encourage y'all to sign up to the Patreon. All of the ones who want to patronize the Gourd and this channel and what it is that we're doing and what it is that we're building. Hopefully, y'all have a better understanding about who we are, what we stand for, our history. Because I'm aware a lot of people just caught on to the show. Y'all don't know the history of Red Pill. Y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all don't know the history like that. So sometimes we got to give it to you. But yeah, Thursday, I need y'all to pull up, be in the building. This is going to be exciting and whatnot. This is going to be informative, like all of the Stream Chaser events are, chock full of information. This will be no different. So October the 28th on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern on Zoom only. Buy your tickets on Eventbrite. The link is in the description. That part, I'm talking about. Emails, right? Send the emails, ladies. We need face shots, we need headshots, and a few body shots. No nudes, right? No, we're not doing that. And yeah, that part, what I'm talking about. We got the new single, Red Summer, season 2. That album is on the way, right? Very soon. We in Scorpio season. That's coming. You know what I'm saying? Tap into the school. If you didn't, and if you came in the middle of the show and you didn't see the advert, We have a homeschool, right, called the Kemetic Nation. This is for the little ones and whatnot. You know, I'm talking about. Give them a, check them out. Give them a spin, see what they about. You feel me? See what they about. The Ma'at University. This is something that we need more of. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Because I remember when I was trying to put Pink Pill in a homeschool type of situation, that shit was challenging. You feel me? Also,
NFT top shelf sold to the wealthiest buyer. Copper wires, yeah, the wealthy messiahs. You was wrapped up in the wealthy attire. Speak your dreams, dream chasing niggas, seek your streams.
I'm looking for an artist. I'm looking for 3D artists. I'm looking for some artists that want to get a few bands with me, fucking with these NFTs and whatnot. Hit me up. You know what I'm talking about? Hit me up so we could talk about it. I want to put some bands in your pocket. You know what I mean? I want y'all to get into this NFT shit. I could talk about it, but it's one thing to talk about it, then it's one thing to do it. So we got a ton of original artwork from the 90s. You feel me? We got a bunch of artwork that we're gonna convert into we're gonna mint this artwork. We're gonna mint the artwork and we're gonna turn this artwork into NFTs, right? Me and Blue Pill and KT. Look at KT. KT is nice with it. Blue Pill. Well, this is the murder book, right? This book is the assassins, right? This is all gunplay. This is a lot of, negativity and, this is all of that toxic shit. This is that Brooklyn shit. You feel me? This is that Brooklyn. This is when we was listening to 1990s shit. You know what I mean? When we was listening to the Wu-Tang, we was listening to Cool G rap, the symphony and all of that. You feel me? This is what it created. This is what it created. You feel me? So we're gonna get some NFTs rolling, right? But even more special, Blue Pill, who is a master artist, right? Look at Blue Pill. Blue Pill is crazy with it, right? Silk the Shaka, nigga.
To this day. To this day.
Silk the Shaka. You know what I'm saying? So his pen game, this is Blue Pill's work. His pencil game, this is all pencil and whatnot. So this is this book is really like this one here is the hustlers. You know what I'm saying? This is the hustlers. This is that tunnel era talk. You know what I mean? This is that tunnel. Look at them bottles and whatnot. You know what I mean? So if there's a 3D artist out there, you niggas are playing a lot of fucking games. You know what I mean? Hit us up. Come holla at us either on a Discord or hit me on the email and let's get to this. Let's talk. Let's get to this bag, man. Yeah, I need y'all to stop playing and get serious about this money because they didn't stop printing it. It's a lot of it out there. You know what I mean? And it's not about money and whatnot. It's about legacy. It's about intellectual property. It's about some type of shit that's going to benefit you. This is my way out. This is my ticket out the hood, nigga. You understand? I don't have to play around. I don't have to stick around. Like I could disappear and I could be good. I could just create a pseudonym and just draw my way out of poverty. You know what I mean? I'm not in poverty, but I could draw my way out of whatever situation that I was ever in. You understand? Artist, the gift of the hand, right? You could write your way out of the situations. You could draw your way out of the situations. You could write books. You could book your way out of the situation. You understand? The artist, I need us to start working with our skills. That's every single sign that you see in society is showing you beyond a reasonable doubt. Whatever gifts were given to you, whatever talents were bestowed upon you, it's time to activate that shit. If I gotta keep saying it, it ain't even gonna be worth it. But every single thing, when you see people out there winning and whatnot, when you see the people that's winning with NFTs, they're utilizing their gifts, they're utilizing their talents, they're utilizing what was given to them or what they basically studied for years and whatnot. Some people is getting this shit like, Not even for years. It's little niggas in YouTube University. They're studying 3D designing and whatnot, and they getting that shit in a few days. Whatever. But I digress, you know. I digress. You know what I'm saying? You write poetry. Yes. You already know, Kafunya. You feel me? Those musicians that you used to work with, Midnight and all of them, and all of those reggae artists, that's poetry to a beat. And it changed their lives forever, right? Changed their lives forever. They took that and they ran with it. You feel me? They took that and it changed their lives forever. You should put them unks up. What, the unk? Yeah. So yeah. Somebody asked me how many children was I'm trying to have. And I don't, you know what? That's a good question. I've been pondering that lately. You feel me? That's a good question. That's a good question. You know? You know? But yeah, we'll continue this conversation. Yeah, we got some things popping off this week. I don't want to talk about it ahead of time, but it's coming. We got some things going on before the lecture, but I don't want to let that cat out the bag. Just if you're in the Discord and if you're in the Patreon, stick around. You'll be made aware of it in real time. Protect your this shit is protected. What you talking about? It's protected. Intellectual property is protected. You know, it's definitely protected. You know. What do you think going to be the way after podcasts, and how long you think they will be around? Well, the metaverse is gonna disrupt podcasting. The metaverse is gonna disrupt the podcast world, to whereas instead of podcasts where you might have to you listen to a Joe Button on Spotify, or you might listen to a podcast on Anchor, on Spotify, on Apple. You in the metaverse will put on your goggles and whatnot, and I could have a podcast and it could be thousands of people right in the room while I'm doing the podcast in real time. You feel me? And I could be on Mars. I could be I could be inside of an igloo. Whatever environment I want to create, I could be on Mars with Elon Musk riding the Cybertruck doing a podcast, and all you niggas could be in a Cybertruck riding next to me, and we could all be tapped in, or we could all be inside of one spaceship and whatnot, and we'll be doing a conversation in the metaverse. It's going there. Am I doing a look for Halloween? I don't think so. I don't think so. My brother and them dressed up last night in Atlanta. They had a situation in Atlanta that was lit. He was on his Aladdin shit. Shout out to Blue Pill. Him and his queen, they was looking very royal and whatnot. Everybody looked royal. Shout out to America's Secret. Everybody that participated last night, y'all looked very beautiful. I wish I could have been there for that. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, keep doing what y'all do. Yeah, we're gonna leave with a song. Being that we was on some reminiscent shit, we're gonna take y'all back to 2016. You know what I mean? We're gonna take y'all back to the good old days. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna leave y'all with Prince, red and blue, purple, like Prince. You know what I mean? This is a classic right here. My niggas, this is lit. Make sure y'all hit that Cash App. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. YouTube is hating on my subscriptions and everything, but it's all good. And also make sure that y'all sign up for the Discord and the Patreon. I know it's a lot, but my nigga, I'm giving you a lot. So I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just saying, let's work together. You know what I mean? It's called reciprocation. I give you, all you got to do is press buttons at this shit. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is press buttons. So Peace to y'all. Y'all be good. Y'all stay dangerous, and we'll catch up. All right.
He's in control. He's a master of his masters. I can do business with you, right? Master's talking to a master. That master's talking to a slave.
Y'all can hear that?
I license you, my materials. You don't own my materials anymore. But I'm gonna take the big chunk over here to the homie. That's why I have no issue with people calling him a master mason. You damn right. He's the master of his catalog. He's the master of his words. He's the master of his archive. You feel me? He's the master of the ceremony.
I'm on 100%. 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The Netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 We feeling the urge, feeling the purge. Buzzers electric, we feeling the surge. Feeling the words, killing the verse with immunity. Pillars of unity. This is the form of the Voltron. This is the age of the Ultron. This is the same stage as the Pope on. This is the sage you can smoke on. Copper pound, came on the scene, I was copper down. All I was missing was copper crown. Summer 16, I turned copper brown.
Look for revenge
in the copper town. Copper New Jersey and copper crown. 21 gun salute, jumper sound. My power pieces, the crystals be talking, the cloth that be talking. King County clothing, yeah, king of New York, and I'm Christopher walking, the missiles and walking. Pieces be talking, 21 hammers with country declaring the broken English. I'm on 100%. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends.
Change it.
The Netheroo circle the
Vibes,
twins.
nigga, vibes.
75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince.
Scorpion
Red
season.
and blue, purple like Prince.
Talk black to me.
Red and blue, purple like Prince.
Blah.
Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Charges of federal, orders incredible, markers indelible, sparkers immeasurable, sparking the medical, parkers on pedestal, sharks for that revenue, hawks for what's settable. Heart full of vegetables, orders the vegetables, heart no cholesterol, sharp on those episodes. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. Go independent like Prince. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins.
Shula.
I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. I like when summer begins.